From pretty much the present, this is your host, Adam Graham, bringing you a week of old-time radio detective podcasts from 2012. Because these podcasts are many years old, any offers or information included in the podcast may not be valid unless they're currently reflected on our Great Detectives of Old Time Radio website at greatdetectives.net. Here now is a week of old-time radio detective podcast. Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio from Boise, Idaho. This is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13 at greatdetectives.net. Give us a call, 208-991-4783, and become one of our friends on Facebook, facebook.com/radio detectives. I encourage you to pick up a copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo. We take a look at life lessons from 7 great detectives of radio, television, and literature, including Sherlock Holmes, Nero Wolfe, Columbo, and Monk. And it's a fun read. You can pick up your copy. It's All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo. Available for your Kindle, right in the Kindle store, and available on Smashwords if you have another device at smashwords.com, and should soon be filtering into the Barnes & Noble and Apple stores. All right, well, it's time for today's episode of Barrie Craig. This one is called Hay is for Homicide. Enjoy.
William Gargan stars as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator.
Someone once said that murder is a fine art. There's a catch, though. If you're a successful artist, they hang your paintings. If you're a successful murderer, they hang you.
The National Broadcasting Company presents William Gargan in another transcribed drama of mystery and adventure with America's #1 detective, Barrie Craig, confidential investigator.
Barrie Craig speaking. Even confidential investigators need a vacation. Sometimes they've been known to take one. The place I'd chosen was Vermont. The main reason for that was Jake. He was on vacation, too. He decided to come home and see if he'd been smart in abandoning Vermont to run an elevator on Madison Avenue. Say, Jake.
Yeah?
What's the verdict?
Madison Avenue.
Why? Is Madison Avenue dark and quiet like this?
Nope.
Is Madison Avenue surrounded by tall trees, cooled by gentle breezes, filled with the fragrance of unspoiled nature?
Nope.
Now, what's Madison Avenue got that this place hasn't?
Girls.
Well, you may be right, or you may be wrong. That came from directly up the road.
Nice night for a hayride.
Is it?
Yep. Could have been a giggle.
A rather loud giggle.
Girls got very loud giggles sometimes, especially on a hayride.
Oh, Jake, stop pulling my leg. Hey, wait a minute. What's that in the road up ahead of us?
Hay wagon.
I refuse to believe it, but it is filled with hay.
Usually are.
There's a horse out in front of it, but where's the driver? Say, Jake, would he have gone off and left the wagon out in the middle of the road?
It ain't too likely.
Oh. I'm coming up on that wagon. That girl, if it was a girl, didn't giggle. She screamed. I'd better take a look around in the hay.
What for?
Anything larger than a needle. Yeah, there's plenty of hay up here.
Anything else?
No,
Mr. Craig?
I was rushing things. There is something else up here.
What?
A man. A very pale man.
What's he doing up there?
Nothing. Just being dead. He lay very still. His eyes stared up at the summer sky overhead, but saw neither the stars nor the moon. The moon that shone on him and on the metal handle of the knife that was buried in his heart. He was wearing overalls and a work shirt. His short hair outlined clearly the skull beneath. There was nothing I nor anyone could do for him.
Murdered?
Yes.
Anything on him?
No identification at all, Jake. We need a phone.
Past farmhouse, half-mile back.
Well, let's go.
Think it's all right leaving him there?
He won't mind. The Vermont night was as quiet and peaceful as it had been before I heard the scream and a man died of a knife wound lying on a mound of hay. Nature doesn't concern herself too much about us and our doings, which is very bright of nature.
Got to turn off the road to get to that farmhouse.
Yeah. Well, somebody ought to oil that gate.
Yeah. Whole house is pretty run down.
Jake, get down.
Ain't necessary.
Those shots.
Over our heads.
Her aim might improve.
Her aim.
Well, you can see her, farmhouse window. This time it's not the farmer with the shotgun, it's the farmer's daughter.
Spoil a lot of stories that way. She's left the window.
Yeah. She knows she didn't hit either of us. Those shots were either a warning or possibly a yell for help.
How are you going to decide?
Well, if it was a warning, I don't think she'd have left the window. So it must be a call for help. Come on.
That was real logical, Mr. Craig.
Thanks.
Let's hope it turns out to be true.
There were no more shots, which did or didn't prove I'd been right, because the shooting would be better once we were inside the house.
First time I ever heard of targets knocking on the door.
The lady may have had all the target shooting she wants.
Who's there?
Barrie Craig and Jake. Hello?
Barrie Craig
Yeah.
and Jake?
Me.
Neither of you look very terrifying.
Is that bad?
No, it's nice. Please come in.
Thanks.
Please, make yourselves comfortable.
Nice room.
Rustic, perhaps, but I like it.
Do you like being a farmer? Or maybe I should say...
Farmer's daughter? Very much.
Almost as much as you like firing guns at strangers?
Oh, but I didn't know whether you were strangers or
Or what?
dead men.
Maybe she was what she claimed to be, a farmer's daughter, but if she was, somebody's been telling me lies about farms. Her hairdo was sleek, as though it had been just applied. Her fingernails had had a lot of professional attention. Her dress was so simple it practically yelled Paris at you. And she didn't need any of these beauty aids. She would have been beautiful without them, but not nearly so expensive. You did say dead men.
Yes.
You often run across dead men walking around?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You think I'm crazy, don't you?
I don't think you're crazy at all. You've just got a peculiar vision.
I'm not sure I ought to be grateful for that.
Well, forget I said it.
My name is Millie George.
How do you do?
This is, or was, my father's farm. He was very happy here until the dead men started walking.
And then?
He became one of them himself.
Your father's dead?
Over a year now.
You live here alone?
Well, I don't really live here at all. I have an apartment and a job in town. But I come here often. As often as I dare.
My fingers idly traced the pattern in the inch-deep dust on the table next to my chair. Inch-deep dust. Millie George was very lovely. She told her ghost story neatly, but she was also a complete liar. I think maybe we'd better skip the Walking Dead for a minute. There's something more urgent that's got to be done. Where's your phone?
I'm afraid there isn't one. Father never cared for what he called mechanical murderers.
Murderers?
He meant things that killed time, interrupted work.
I see.
Destroyed quiet.
I see. That's too bad.
Why do you need a phone?
Jake and I ran across a hay wagon some distance down the road.
Oh?
There was a man in it. He wasn't walking around like the people you've been telling us about. He was lying down, but he was dead anyway. If I'd been looking for a reaction to my words, I would have been disappointed. Millie George took the news with not a flicker of anything except polite interest. But I wasn't disappointed. I'd expected that reaction. The police like to be told about stray corpses.
I suppose so. I think the Gardners have a phone.
Where would I find them?
Well, their house is about a quarter of a mile further down the road.
Oh, good. Jake.
Ready?
By the way, this man, what did he die of?
A knife in his heart.
Oh. Suicide?
The angle of the knife's entrance wouldn't be right for suicide.
Oh, then it was...
Murder.
How dreadful.
Yes, terribly dreadful. So long. So far as Millie George was concerned, murder belonged in pretty much the same category as a run in a pair of new nylons. You said how dreadful and bought another pair. You couldn't do exactly the same thing with a damaged life, though.
Mr. Craig.
Yeah?
Millie George said the gardener's house, the one with the phone, was down the road that way.
That's what she said, Jake.
Then why are we going this way?
I want to take another look at that hay wagon.
Once wasn't enough?
I think maybe there's been a change.
Less hay?
Less corpse. It was a nice road to be taking a stroll on in the cool evening. It would have been an even nicer road if there hadn't been a hay wagon in the middle of it.
Still there?
Yeah. The horse must be getting lonely.
Being a farmer, you get a wrong angle on a horse. You don't think being a horse's chum is romantic.
I'll never say hello to a horse again. Excuse me.
You're getting pretty spry at climbing hay wagons, Mr. Craig.
Just practice, that's all.
Mr. Craig, counting the hay up there?
No, just confirming a guess.
Less corpse?
No corpse. I'd thought back at Millie George's house that the shots might have been a warning or maybe a call for help. I knew now they'd been neither. What they actually had been were distractions.
Mr. Craig, maybe he wasn't really dead.
Jake, they don't get any deader.
Ain't likely you'd be fooled. Somebody moved him out of there.
Yeah.
Well, what for? Can't be many folks enjoy dragging corpses around.
Whoever dragged this one maybe didn't enjoy it at all.
Well, what was he trying to do? Save undertaker's expenses?
Maybe he was trying to save his neck. I got down out of the hay wagon and said goodbye to it. We wouldn't be coming back that way.
Mr. Craig.
What is it, Jake?
Funny thing about city people, they like to walk.
Oh?
They do it deliberate, even when they don't have to.
Well,
Country people hate to walk.
But, Jake, we've got to get back to that farmhouse.
With a girl in it?
Yeah, Millie George.
We're hoping that this time maybe she won't shoot over our heads.
We're hoping that this time she won't shoot at us at all.
And for this, we're wearing our feet down clear at the ankle.
Oh, it's not as bad as that.
It's worse. I got short ankles.
Oh.
Mr. Craig, I can tell you right now, she don't have a phone.
I know, but by this time she may have something else.
Do I want to know what it might be?
Not in your condition, you don't.
Thanks.
We didn't have much farther to go, which was just as well. Jake had started groaning at every step. Next to Jake's snores, Jake's groans are the surest recipe for punctured eardrums. Oh, you can stop groaning, Jake. We're at the house.
Oh, dear, if I got strength enough to lift my head. At the house.
Think you can make it inside?
Oh, dear. I can try.
Fine. Jake, it doesn't look as if anyone's going to invite us in.
This don't make me feel bad.
We'll go in without an invitation.
Now I don't know how I feel.
Find out later. Well, somebody left the lights on.
Wasn't a Vermont man. Quiet.
Yeah, let's try the parlor.
Oh, anything for an excuse to keep a walk-in.
I suppose this is the parlor.
Nobody in here. It's the parlor.
Don't like this much. The only thing left for us to do now is sit down.
Excuse me while I cheer.
Well, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, Grandpa. Cheer.
Company.
So I notice. Kind of thing you're liable to run into in old houses. They come out of the woodwork, I think.
Don't try to insult me, mister.
Why not?
Anything you're liable to say is liable to be true.
Don't be foolish. I don't use that kind of language.
You also ain't using the kind of language I would like to hear.
What language would that be?
The one telling me where the baby is buried?
A boy or a girl, baby?
Jake.
Oh, that Grandpa's a joker. Grandpa could easy get his head knocked off.
Put the gun down, son, and Grandpa will be glad to tangle with you.
I ain't putting no guns down. And when I say baby, you know what I mean.
You mean something worth money?
Oh, you are a bright one. Okay, so where is it?
Even if I knew where it was, I wouldn't tell you.
Why not?
You've got the wrong RH factor.
Wrong. Well, supposing I could get a hold of the right one.
It wouldn't buy you the time of the day from me.
Language like that's gotten guys killed before this, mister.
So have guns like that.
This is kind of fancy, but it ain't very productive.
What makes you think I know anything about the baby?
You're in this stump, ain't you?
I'm in it.
So what are you doing here? Looking for a beer?
It so happens I'm looking for a corpse.
Well, you're gonna find one. Your own. Only ain't gonna be no condition to appreciate it.
Funny thing, you didn't show any interest in the corpse I'm looking for. Whose it might be, say.
Mr. Corpses is dead. They don't bother me. It's the live operators you gotta keep in mind. Like you and Grandpa.
How about the girl?
You just leave her out of this. She's for me.
Oh? And why do you think I was called in?
Hey, wait, mister. You trying to tell me you was called in by...
By the girl, yes.
That don't smell so good.
Neither do you. Let's call it a draw and go home.
You were saying the girl brought you in, huh? Okay. We find out fast. Hey, Sugar! Come here, Sugar. This joker informs me you brought him in on the deal. That so?
No.
I had a long look at the girl who'd come into the room. It was fun while it lasted. She was worth looking at. She was beautiful, non-rural, undoubtedly expensive, and she was not Millie George.
Well?
Call it mistaken identity.
Oh, cut it out, Dina. I don't know what you think he said, but it wasn't very funny.
It wasn't?
It wasn't.
Oh.
This girl probably is on your side. She's not the one I was talking about.
You mean there's been another babe around?
Oh, honey, he must mean Joey's wife.
Why don't you forget you ever learned to talk, Dina?
That ain't a friendly attitude.
I ain't feeling friendly. Joey makes it out of the pen, ducks for cover here, on account of here is where he buried the baby.
Banks wouldn't like you calling their money baby.
Well, I don't like banks.
So it was bank money. Thanks for telling me.
Who told you? Never mind. To resume. Joey gets here, and the first thing anybody knows, he winds up with a knife and a ticker. This is bad.
It ain't good.
Shut up.
You can't say that to a Vermont man.
Why not?
I don't rightly remember.
Well, get in touch with me when you do.
What cell?
Now, will you lay off? You guys trying to confuse me or something? Joey winds up with a knife and a ticker and no dough.
Look, ain't you forgetting Joey's wife?
Hey, yeah. If she was around here, maybe she met him even before we got here, grabbed the dough off him, and then handed him a knife, huh?
Fine wife.
She never liked him so much. After she found out he was a bank operator.
She was prejudiced against banks?
She was prejudiced in favor of banks.
Narrow-minded woman.
So, I'm thinking maybe she's the one we got to get our hands on. When did you see her?
A little while ago.
Where?
Here.
Well, she ain't in the house. We went all through it. If she knifed Joey and scrambled the dough, we better get after her.
Brady's a scream, ain't he?
Don't disturb my mental processes, huh? There wasn't no car around before, which means she must have headed for the village and railroad station. Okay, now we know where we're going.
Oh, I think we do.
That reminds me. What about you guys?
Well, we'll hang around play some pinochle. I've been wanting a good pinochle game.
Dina, what do you think?
I think you're a big dope.
Oh, what kind of remark is that?
Oh, you believe too easy. Joey's wife would maybe stick up Joey, but she wouldn't take the bank's money.
Yeah, could be right. Yeah, but maybe...
These characters, you ought to...
Don't pay any attention to her, Brady. She's a bitter woman.
Just shut up.
You know what I say? I say get rid of them, and then we'll have lots of time to find the money.
Yeah, you could be right.
She could also be wrong.
All right, so she's wrong. What do I lose if she's wrong?
Mr. Craig's life and mine?
In my line of business, I can't afford to be sentimental. If you die for nothing, I shall be sorry. But not very sorry and not for very long. Okay, here.
Please, Brady.
Huh?
Not while a lady's in the room.
Oh. Excuse me, Dina.
Sometimes I think you ain't got no manners.
I said excuse me. There's a nice, refined girl. Yeah, never even packs a rod. Well...
Brady.
Yeah?
You're an idiot.
Well, that could be.
You think Dina's really going to wait for you? In that car outside?
Well, sure. Me and her is personally very friendly.
That was before the bank money came up.
Why shouldn't she wait for me?
And share your execution?
Who's getting executed? I knock you guys off, we find a dough, we get out of here. Nobody knows who's even around.
Dina gets out of here, you mean? You don't. The cops will pick you up in a few hours.
Hey, you keep saying she won't wait for me.
That's what I keep saying, because it's the truth. Would you like to test her before sticking your neck away out?
What kind of test?
Fire 2 shots into the floor.
What for? I got nothing against the floor.
Oh, forgive me. You haven't got brains enough to be an idiot. Fire these shots, and it'll sound to Dina as though you shot Jake and me. Then if she waits for you, fine. You can go ahead with your original plan. But if she doesn't wait, if she scrams as soon as she hears those shots...
Hey, it's an idea. You know, it's even a good idea. Okay, boys, just don't get alarmed. Yeah, you shouldn't have insulted Dina. She's okay. So just for insulting her, I'll kill you anyway.
Shut up. Listening, Brady?
Hey, Dina! Hey, Dina!
A man betrayed.
Craig, you was right. I feel terrible.
You should.
But I don't understand Dina crossing me like that. What'd she get out of it?
How much money was in the bank job?
Here, on 30 grand.
She gets 30 grand out of it.
Huh? But she...
Were you and she together all evening?
Well, no, but...
You came down to this house? Why?
Well, we figure this is where Joey's gonna head, once we hear he has departed from the pen. But Joey don't show. Then you tell me Joey is now a corpse.
Pretty plain what happened. One way or another, Joey latched onto a pair of overalls and a work shirt, plus 1 wagon filled with hay. He dug up the money from wherever he'd hidden it and headed for this house. But before he got here...
He runs into trouble.
He ran into Dina.
Now it begins to clear up. And Dina takes him for the dough, huh?
She takes him.
I could have figured it out for myself.
Yeah, all you needed was Mr. Craig's brains.
Better he should have them. What would I do with them?
You've got a point. And so's your head.
Please, Grandpa. Dina does not wish to share this here dough with me, so she tries to get me to knock you guys off, then get picked up by the cops while she's traveling very fast in my car. Hey, this is revolting.
It is.
You know, you do very good guessing.
No guessing.
No? How'd you know Joey was an escaped con?
I mentioned the fact that he was pale and that his hair had been cut short. That was enough. Farmers don't work indoors in the summer. They couldn't be pale. And why did Joey dress up like a farmer? Because he wasn't one. Escaped convicts are pale, have short hair, and seek a disguise.
You know something, Craig? You're so smart, I'm beginning to worry.
What about?
What kind of security is us criminals going to have if private eyes like you go around being smart all the time?
The same kind of security you've always had. No security.
Well, just don't dwell on that there. I got something else to worry about. I got to figure out a way to get hold of Dina before she scrams out of the country with that dough.
But Brady...
Huh?
Dina doesn't have the money. Brady had a little trouble with this. Even Jake began to look worried. As far as I was concerned, I hoped. Because I could turn out to be wrong, and being wrong in a case of this kind was only one short step before being dead.
But you figured it all out yourself.
Logically.
That Dina was the one who knocked off Joey and took the dough.
What you're forgetting, Brady, is that there can be more than one logical explanation for anything.
Huh?
He means just because something's logical don't prove it's true.
Oh.
And then, of course, logic can be twisted as your mind, Brady.
You leave my mind out of this. It's got its own troubles. Please explain.
Well, Joey was a desperate man running from the police. He was also a man owning $30,000. He was finally a man in a hurry.
So?
How would Dina have persuaded a man in those circumstances to let her get close enough to him to stab him?
Well, maybe...
There's no way.
Well, somebody got close enough to him.
Of course. Somebody who was armed, with a weapon that was dangerous at a distance. A gun, say.
Oh, so Dina...
No. You yourself told us Dina never carried a gun.
Joey's wife.
Wouldn't have needed to take the chance of killing him on the road. She could have waited till she had him here.
You know something? I said you were so bright I was beginning to get worried. I ain't beginning no more. I'm worried.
So you admit you were the one who stabbed Joey and took the money?
Yeah, sure.
Dina scrammed just now because she was afraid you didn't intend to share the money with her, but instead would kill her the same way you'd killed Joey.
Could be.
She realized you'd hidden Joey's body to gain time for doing just that.
Won't do her much good. I know where she goes when she's scared. But before that...
You can't shoot us.
Why?
Well, I don't know, frankly, but give me a little time and I'll think of something.
Too bad, Grandpa. I ain't giving you no time at all.
Oh, for a fellow who's just been shot, I feel fine.
You weren't shot, Jake. Come on in, Miss Millie. I spotted her behind those drapes a long time ago. I was looking for her. The trouble with you, Jake, is that you spent so much time thinking about the farmer, you forgot about the farmer's daughter. It didn't quite end there, though. Police removed the debris, put out a pickup for Dina, and then...
Barrie,
Yeah?
I really am a farmer's daughter.
I know.
So,
Yeah?
how about some country cooked ham?
You have been listening to William Gargan in another exciting transcribed mystery drama from the adventures of Barrie Craig, confidential investigator. Tonight's story, Hay is for Homicide, was written by Louis Vittes. Next week, it's the strange story of Ghosts Don't Die in Bed, about which Barrie Craig has this to say.
We call next week's story, Ghosts Don't Die in Bed, which is a true saying. It's also true, of course, that they don't die anywhere else, because they're already dead. All except for one I run into when... Good night, folks. See you next week.
The National Broadcasting Company has just brought you transcribed an NBC Radio Network production with William Gargan starring as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator. Directed by Arthur Jacobson. Also heard Parley Bear, Joyce McCluskey, Jack Moyles, and Bibi Janis. John Lang speaking. The aviation age of America is now in progress and calls to young Americans to keep in step by becoming members of the United States Air Force. If you are a high school or college graduate between the ages of 19 and 26 and a half, single, and in good physical condition, then you may be eligible to win your wings as an Air Force lieutenant. While in training, you'll learn to fly as pilots with the latest equipment and the best instructors. Investigate now. Visit your Air Force recruiting station for additional information. There's another exciting Dragnet adventure tonight on most NBC radio stations.
Welcome back. Well, this had some of the funniest dialogue of the whole series, and my favorite part in this episode was when the criminal was going to kill him, and Craig suggested shooting into the floor. And the criminal's like, "Why should I shoot into the floor? I don't have anything against floors." And Craig said, "Forgive me, you haven't the brains to be an idiot." And it was hilarious in itself, but I love the "forgive me" part, and I think Gargan's delivery, because he's a gracious person, sounded kind of sincere when he said it. So this was just a very fun episode. Love the dialogue and the overall plot. Of course, you do notice that we have another actor playing the role of the elevator man with that move to Los Angeles from New York. So I should mention here that we did on March the 30th, we celebrated 5 million downloads of The Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. So that's a very neat milestone. For those of you who have the app or our premium site, we have another episode of The Good News Show with William Gargan. This is the last one he did, played a major role in the drama. So you can enjoy that episode of Good News. But that will do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with an adventure of Monsieur Poirot. And then join us back here on Monday for another episode of Barrie Craig, Confidential Investigator. Well, this episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all your financial support. And now it is time for today's episode, Rendezvous with Death.
Time and the little gray cells, they will always catch the criminal.
Agatha Christie's Poirot. From the thrill-packed pages of Agatha Christie's unforgettable stories of corpses, clues, and crime, Mutual now brings you, complete with bowler hat and magnificent mustache, your favorite detective, Hercule Poirot, starring Harold Huber in Rendezvous with Death.
Wait just one moment, sir. We'll have a place for you.
But alas for me, monsieur, your cafe enjoys such a great popularity. I do not see an unoccupied table.
For you, Mr. Poirot, there's always a table. You see, I've had one set up for you right next to the dance floor. This for you right next to the dance. Haven't seen much of you lately.
It is true. I have been busy getting all my affairs in order. I intend to take a cruise on your Great Lakes in 2 weeks' time. In that way, I shall have a vacation and observe something of your great country at the same time.
We'll miss you, but I hope you enjoy it. Here we are.
Merci bien.
You're alone, I take it?
Oui. Sometimes, you see, I prefer to sit on the side and observe the behavior of others. Look out on the dance floor, monsieur. You would expect to read pleasure in every face, eh? And yet it is not so. Some of those faces are so bored, some vacant-looking, some actually unhappy. Ah, but this couple which approaches, they are different, no?
Eh? Oh, Miss Belford and Mr. Doyle. Yes, they're different if they're in love.
Oh, I see. That explains it. The young lady's flushed face, her laughter. Yes, and that's something else in her eyes, eh? Ah, she cares too much, that little one. Eh bien, monsieur, if you will bring me the wine list.
For you, Mr. Poirot, I have something very special, you see.
Darling, you dance divine.
Thank you, Jackie. Oh, pardon me, sir.
Not at all, monsieur.
And you're by far the handsomest man in this room.
Oh, it's just that you have no eyes for anyone else.
Oh, no, Simon, you're too modest. Darling, what are you thinking about?
Oh, well, that opportunity you've wangled for me handling the Ridgway properties. Do you really think Linda Ridgway will give me a trial?
I know she will, dear. Linda's my friend, and I told her all about you. She won't let us down.
I might let her down.
Nonsense. She may be fabulously rich and glamorous, but she's as easy to please as any ordinary person. It's just the right job for you.
As a matter of fact, I think it is. I really haven't any doubt of my ability, and I intend to make good for your sake.
Oh, darling. We'll wait 3 months to make sure you won't be fired. And then...
And then we'll get married. Oh, it'll be so wonderful, Jackie, won't it?
I wonder. You really care as much as I do.
Don't be absurd, Jackie.
I wonder. Oh, well, that's that.
Here we are, Mr. Poirot. Just 3 bottles left.
You see, monsieur? The old story, eh? One who loves and one who permits himself to be loved. Me, I wonder too. Pardon, mademoiselle.
What is... Oh.
On a cruise, it is permissible to introduce oneself, n'est-ce pas? And though we have barely left the dock,
Yes, of course, but,
But you would rather be alone, eh? The last time I saw you, Mademoiselle Belfort, you did not look unhappy.
Really, I don't think we've ever...
Forgive me, mademoiselle. First, I present myself. I am Hercule Poirot.
How do you do?
The name means nothing to you?
No, I'm afraid not.
Eh bien. It is my business, Mademoiselle Belfort, to remember names and faces. I sat at the table next to you and your handsome young man at the Café du Fort 2 weeks ago. Richard, the maître d'hôtel, told me who you were.
I see.
Also, I must confess, I could not help overhearing some of your conversations. That is why I was so glad to see you again. You and Monsieur Doyle, you are perhaps here on your honeymoon?
Monsieur Doyle is here. He's on his honeymoon. It's not with me.
Ma foi, this is incredible.
Yes. I would have thought so, too. If you heard our conversation, you must have heard us talking about my best friend, Linda Ridgway.
Ah, yes, it was through your efforts. Monsieur Doyle obtained a position in her employ.
That's right. And after she saw him, she decided she wanted him. Not as an employee. As a husband.
But the young man...
Oh, Simon's weak. Linda's not only beautiful, but very rich. Just the combination was irresistible. It took her just 1 week.
But in that case, what are you doing here?
I don't know, Mr. Poirot. Seems as though I'm just driven to following them everywhere. Maybe seeing me constantly will spoil their happiness. Maybe Simon will realize what a fool he's been. Maybe I'll do something...
Mademoiselle, do not even think such thoughts.
How did you know what I was thinking?
Ah, there is desperation in your eyes, ma pauvre petite. But you're too young, and I hope too intelligent to do anything for which you will be sorry later.
Don't worry, Mr. Poirot. If I do anything, somebody else will be a lot sorrier.
Come on, Linda, let's go forward to the sun deck. You could use a burn, you know. You look so pale.
Oh, it's wonderful here on the ship, Simon, away from her. For the first time in days, I feel free.
So glad, darling.
Why should she persecute me? Why does she follow me? Follow us, wherever we go. Just staring and staring. I couldn't help it, Simon, could I? I couldn't help loving you, and you're loving me.
Jackie's a queer sort, Linda. She'll get over it.
Simon! Oh, no, not again.
What is it, Linda?
There, by the rail, Jackie.
Good Lord.
Simon, I'll go mad, I know it. She's driving me mad.
Linda, get hold of yourself. She's coming this way.
I'm going back.
No, we've got to face her. We've got to show her we're not afraid.
Yes, dear, I guess you're right.
Hello, Linda. We seem always to be running into each other. How are you? Hello, Simon. You're looking well. Though not as well as last week.
Oh, Jackie, we didn't expect to see you here.
Didn't you? I thought I'd surprise you.
Simon. Oh, Simon, what can we do? You're Mr. Poirot.
At your service, madame.
Perhaps you know who I am.
Yes, Madame Doyle, I have heard your name. I know exactly who you are. Won't you sit down?
Thank you. Mr. Poirot, I've heard a great deal about you, and I know that you're very clever. I need someone to help me. And I think you're the man to do it.
Well, you are very amiable, madame.
It concerns a certain young lady, Miss Jacqueline Belfort.
Oui, madame, I know that. You see, I witnessed the little scene that occurred on deck this morning.
Mr. Poirot, that girl is persecuting me. It's got to stop.
What do you suggest?
I'm sure I don't know. There must be some kind of legal action one can take.
Me, I do not know of any. So long as she does not use insulting language or threaten you with bodily harm, you cannot prevent her from appearing in the same public places as you frequent.
But this is ridiculous. Do we have to be subjected to this subtle torture wherever we go? It's intolerable.
I sympathize with you, madame. Especially since I imagine you have not often had to put up with things, eh? Of course, you can always leave when she turns up.
But that would be running away as though...
Exactly, madame. As though you were guilty. Eh?
What?
Yes, madame. That is why you cannot tolerate Miss Belfort. You have a feeling of guilt.
How dare you?
You are beautiful, madame. You are rich, you are clever, and you have charm. You could have restrained that charm when you met Monsieur Doyle, but you chose not to. And so you, who had everything, took everything from your friend.
Mr. Poirot, let's not talk about the past. The question is, what can be done now?
I, Madame Doyle, can do nothing.
Jackie has threatened us. He's threatened to... well, to kill us both.
I see. I did not know that.
Then you will act for me.
No, madame. I have already spoken with Miss Belfort. I'm afraid there is nothing I can do in that direction. But I must tell you this, madame. The situation is full of difficulty and danger for all three of you.
No sage, Mrs. Doyle?
What? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Robeson. That's stupid of me. I have got a sage.
Yes, I thought you must have. A queen from dummy, please.
Mr. Doyle, waiting for your play.
Huh? Oh. I'm sorry, Pennington.
I wouldn't let her upset my game, darling. Just let her sit over there and stare.
The last 4 tricks are mine. Ace of clubs and 3 trumps.
Ah, that game in rubber.
3 trumps.
Well played, Miss Robeson.
Thank you. Well, I guess I'll turn in. You coming, darling?
Not just yet, Linda. I think I'll have a drink first.
All right, Simon. Good night, Miss Robeson.
Good night.
Mr. Pennington?
I'll take a few turns round the deck. Good night, Doyle.
Good night.
Good night, Miss Robeson.
Good night. Did I leave my bag here, Mr... Oh, yes, there it is. Miss Robeson, don't go to bed. Please don't. I feel like making a night of it. Stuart.
Oh, yes, miss.
Another double Scott. I'd love to stay, Miss Belfort. Oh, sit down. We girls must stick together, you know. I think you ought to go to bed. Everyone else has, except Mr. Doyle over there. Oh, yes, Mr. Doyle. He was her man, and he done her...
Here you are, miss.
Thanks, Stuart. Well, here's to crime. Miss Robeson, Cornelia, tell me about this. There's nothing to tell, really. You're a happy sort of person, aren't you? I wish I were like you. Do you? I suppose everyone considers the next person a little happy. I remember... Simon, ring the bell. I want another drink.
The stewards have gone to bed. It's after midnight.
I tell you, I want another drink.
You've had quite enough drinks,
What
Jackie.
business is it of yours?
None.
What's the matter, Simon? You afraid? I really think I should go. Oh, no. Stay, Cornelia. You know what Simon's afraid of? He's afraid I'm going to tell you the story of my life.
Oh.
Well, see, he and I were once engaged.
Really?
Yes. It was a very sad story.
Go to bed, Jackie. You're drunk.
Afraid of a scene, aren't you? Gotta get out of here quickly. Because I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk a lot. I told you, Simon, I'd kill you rather than see you go to another woman.
Jackie, get hold of
yourself. You didn't think
yourself.
I meant it, did you? You're so wrong. I've only been waiting. You're my man. You hear? I'll shoot you like a dog.
Jackie,
no,
put that
like
down.
a dirty dog you are.
Jackie!
Mr. Pennington, come quickly. She's got him. Simon, your leg is bleeding. Right through your... I didn't mean it, Simon. I didn't really mean it. I should never have took the gun with me.
Doyle. Is it bad? My leg. I'll be all right. Please, Pennington, for pity's sake, don't say anything about this to anyone, especially to Linda.
Where's the gun?
She kicked it under the sofa.
Oh, Lord, I wish I were dead. I'd kill myself. I'd be better off dead.
Miss Robeson, get her to her cabin. Pennington will help you. Stay with her until the nurse gets here. And Pennington, after you send the nurse for Jackie, bring the doctor here for me. I don't like the way my leg's bleeding.
Mr. Poirot.
Eh? Oh, Entree? Yes, Stuart. What is it?
Beg pardon, sir. The captain would like to see you in his cabin right away.
Ma foi, it must be a matter of great importance. What has happened?
Mr. Doyle, sir. He was shot last night by Miss Belfort.
Sacre then it has happened.
Yes, sir. And something else has happened. Something worse.
Indeed?
Yes, sir. Sometime last night, Mrs. Doyle was murdered.
All right, Stuart, you can wait outside.
Yes, Captain.
Well, Miss Poirot, there she is. Doctor said death was instantaneous. She was killed between 12 and 1. Bullet entered behind the left ear and lodged in the brain. Oui. A bullet from a small caliber gun held at very close range. Yes, but no one heard the shot. Well, that is not surprising, monsieur. The explosion would be scarcely noticeable above the sound of the engine. She was probably asleep when the murderer entered. Ah, to destroy such beauty, one must have a very powerful motive, eh? I presume nothing has been touched. That's right. The room is just as we found it. Observe, Captain. Here, on the floor. A compact with the initial J on it. Precisely. The letter J. I must inform you, Captain, that Madame Doyle had a very dangerous enemy on board this ship. Mademoiselle Jackie Belfort.
Belfort? Do you mean to stand there and tell me, Poirot, that this Belfort woman shot Simon Doyle, then murdered Linda Doyle and left her compact on the floor? Why, that's incredible.
Is it, monsieur? Perhaps no. Mademoiselle Belfort is high-strung and nervous. She is a type who might make such a mistake.
Well, then what are we waiting for? Why don't we go and get her?
Evidence, monsieur, evidence. For example, the gun. Where is it?
Not a trace of it, Mr. Poirot.
And the bullet. The bullet in Doyle's leg and the one in the woman's head.
Doctor says he's almost positive they came from the same gun. You see, after Doyle was taken to the infirmary, he sent Pennington back to get the gun in front of the sofa.
And?
It was gone.
Ah.
What's that you're doing?
I am merely observing these two bottles of nail polish. One is marked red plum, the other rosebud. Madame Doyle wore the red plum last night. Oh, but these rosebuds, sacre nom, the odor is atrocious. It smells not of the rose, but of vinegar.
Yeah, that's all very interesting, Mr. Poirot, but we've got a murder here on our hands. Are you making any headway?
Oh, mon Dieu, I see you expect miracles from Hercule Poirot. I do not deal in them, monsieur. All I can do is employ the little gray cells.
Oh, and what do they tell you?
Many things, monsieur. Things which the eyes alone do not tell. For example, your eyes, without a doubt, have observed this jewel case, which is just a fraction of an inch open.
Well?
Well, I ask myself, why should it be open? Therefore, I lift the lid and discover...
Great Scott.
Exactly. That the priceless string of pearls Madame Doyle was wearing last night is gone.
Oh, good morning, Captain.
Morning.
Mr. Poirot.
Good morning, nurse. How is Mademoiselle Belfort?
She's still sleeping.
I see. You gave her something, for the nerve?
Yes, I gave her morphine injections. She was so unstrung last night, I was afraid she might do something terrible.
It looks as if she has.
What do you mean, Captain?
I mean that after shooting Mr. Doyle in the card room, this pretty little Spitfire up and murdered Mrs. Doyle.
Mrs. Doyle? Murdered?
That's right.
And you think she did it?
No, mademoiselle. We do not think anything as yet. We are merely investigating. But there is an abundance of evidence pointing to Miss Belfort.
But when could she have done it?
You have been with her all the time.
Why, yes, she hasn't searched in the room since I came on at 12:30 last night.
You are quite sure, mademoiselle?
I'm positive. I gave her the hypo as soon as I came in, and she hasn't stirred out of this room since.
I see. And you, nurse, perhaps you took a turn about the deck.
I beg your pardon, sir. When I'm in charge of a patient, I don't go out strolling.
Forgive me, mademoiselle. I did not mean to offend. Hello, monsieur le capitaine. What do you say now, eh? It begins to seem Mademoiselle Belfort may not be guilty after all.
Why not? She might have done it before the nurse got here. Maybe as soon as Simon Doyle was carried out of the card room, she sneaked back, got the gun from under the sofa, slipped into Linda Doyle's room, and killed her.
Yes, that is possible. There may have been time. Tell me, mademoiselle, when you arrived here, was Miss Belfort alone?
Why, no. Miss Robson was with her. She'd brought her down from the card room in a terrible condition. She couldn't have left her alone.
Confound it, I don't understand this. If that's true, this girl has a perfect alibi. She was in the card room when Linda Doyle left, and she was with Miss Robson every minute after that until the nurse took over.
Oui, I am beginning to think we must exclude Miss Belfort from our calculations.
You mean... But how about all the evidence against her? The compact, and the fact that her gun was used.
It is possible, Captain, that someone else wished to point suspicion at Miss Belfort. Someone who saw what occurred in the card room, someone who had heard her threats.
Miss Robson was there, and of course Mr. Pennington came right in, but... Oh, that's ridiculous. What possible motive could either have?
You are forgetting the matter of the pearls.
The pearls, of course, I'd forgotten them. Oh, come on, we'll search Pennington's cabin.
An excellent idea, but first we will have a few words with Mademoiselle Robson. You see, Captain, I have observed something about that young lady that intrigues me very much.
Okay, if that's how you want it. Oh, nurse, let me know when Miss Belfort wakes up.
Yes, Captain.
What gets me, Mr. Poirot, is what happened to the gun. Where has it disappeared?
That is simple. It was thrown overboard. But the question is, why has it disappeared?
What do you mean?
If the murderer was at such pains to point suspicion at Miss Belfort, why did he not leave Miss Belfort's gun in Madame Doyle's room?
Well, that's it. Oh, hello, Doctor. How's Mr. Doyle?
Well, the bone is badly fractured. I'm afraid of an infection. He's running a little fever.
Oh, that is a pity. Doctor, tell me, how long after the shooting of Simon Doyle did you and Pennington arrive in the card room?
I guess about 5 minutes. He must have been in agony while he waited.
He could not move?
Doyle? Out of the question. With that leg, he couldn't have dragged himself 2 foot.
And certainly not without leaving a trail of blood. You can count him out, Poirot.
Apparently. That unfortunate one, his alibi is written in blood. Miss Robson, will you tell me just once more exactly what occurred last night?
Well, as I said, everyone had left the card room except the four of us who were playing bridge, and Jacqueline Belfort, who was sitting off in the corner, drinking rather heavily.
Then the game broke up and Madame Doyle left.
That's right. Mr. Pennington went out at the same time to stroll on deck, he said. That left Mr. Doyle, Jackie, and myself. Then there was the scene. Jacqueline shot Mr. Doyle and kicked the gun under the sofa. I called Mr. Pennington in, and together we got Jackie down to a cabin.
Now, mademoiselle, this is very important. Are you sure that you were with Miss Belfort every moment, from the time you left the card room until the nurse arrived?
Yes, I'm positive.
And after that, mademoiselle?
What do you mean?
You did not by any chance go back to the card room and fetch the gun?
What? Do you think
I merely ask the question, mademoiselle. Did you?
Certainly not.
What did you do?
I went to my cabin.
And you stayed there all night?
Why, yes.
You are quite sure, mademoiselle? You did not go to Linda Doyle's room at any time during the night?
No, I went right to sleep. You believe me, don't you?
Miss Robson, a person has been murdered on this ship, and another one seriously wounded. I can only believe what I see.
What do you mean?
This large container of dusting powder on your vanity table, mademoiselle. I am wondering why so much of it has spilled.
Oh, I guess I was pretty jittery last night. My hand must have shaken.
I see. Then you will not mind if I turn the box over?
What for?
Mademoiselle, do not think me harsh. I have been observing you in the dining room for several days, and I know that you are a sick person. Forgive my saying so, but you are mentally ill.
You know that?
Oui. I have seen you slip into your purse a pair of silver tongues and several other objects. I am sure you are aware, Miss Robson, that you are a kleptomaniac?
Yes, I know. I can't help it, Mr. Poirot. I've tried. Oh, I've tried terribly hard to break the habit. But when I get the impulse to take something, I can't resist it.
Well, it is a condition, mademoiselle, which cannot be fought. It must be cured.
The pearls are in the powder box. I couldn't sleep during the night. I kept thinking about the necklace Linda Doyle had been wearing. About 2 o'clock, I got out of bed and slipped down the corridor and into Mrs. Doyle's room. The pearls were in their case on the dressing table. I took them and came back. But I didn't kill her. I didn't. I had no reason to.
I thank you, mademoiselle. And now, if you please, I will take these pearls.
I'm ready to be turned over to the captain.
No, mademoiselle. No one need know of this. I shall merely announce that the pearls have been found.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Poirot. You're too good.
Au contraire, mademoiselle, you are too unfortunate.
I'm glad Mr. Pennington didn't find out. He'd have made it very difficult for me.
Monsieur Pennington? Well, what has he to do with the necklace?
Didn't you know? Mr. Pennington was the trustee of Mrs. Doyle's estate.
Sapristi. That gives one furiously to think.
Doctor says Doyle's coming along all right, huh?
I am pleased to hear that, Captain.
Where do we stand, Mr. Poirot? That's what I want to know. We don't seem to be making any headway. I'd like to solve this thing before we dock.
You may calm yourself, Captain. The case is solved.
You mean you know who killed Linda Doyle?
Oui, I know. Here is the infernal.
Hello, Captain. Hello, Mr. Doyle. Feeling a little better?
Oh, yes, lots, thanks.
Poirot here says he solved the case.
Have you?
Oui, monsieur. I know who murdered your wife. No, sit still, Mr. Pennington. This will interest you.
Thank you. I'd like to stay.
Who did it, Mr. Poirot? It couldn't have been Jackie. Mr. Pennington's been telling me the facts.
Monsieur Pennington is right. Miss Belfort did not commit the murder. Understand me, she has the capacity for it, that little one. And there is much evidence pointing to her. But she did not have the opportunity. Therefore, she is eliminated.
I've sent for her. I feel partly responsible for what happened last night. I want her to know I understand.
Oh, that is thoughtful of you, monsieur. Though your consideration comes a bit late, eh?
Poirot, who did it?
Well, let us see. If it was not Miss Belfort, then we must assume it was someone else who knew where the gun was. Who could that be?
Miss Robeson and Mr. Pennington, and, of course, Doyle here.
And what are we looking for, eh? A person who knows where the gun is, who knows that Miss Belfort has threatened Madame Doyle and will therefore be suspected, who has an opportunity and who has a motive.
What motive could Miss Robeson have?
I do not know, Monsieur Pennington, but I know what motive you would have.
I?
Oui, monsieur. You were the trustee of Linda Ridgway's estate. She was still a minor, you had no concerns. But suddenly she marries, and you find that you will have to account.
What about it? My accounts are in perfect order.
I do not think so, monsieur. I took the liberty of looking through your papers. If you had no concerns, why did you draw up all those documents, which would clear you of all responsibility? You hoped Linda Doyle would sign them, n'est-ce pas? Yes. Did you not, monsieur?
Yes, I did. But she wouldn't sign them. She was too good a businesswoman.
Aha.
I was a little short. I'd speculated with some of her funds. But I was making it up. I only needed a little more time.
But you didn't get more time, so you killed her.
No, I didn't kill her, I swear.
Simon?
Come in, Jackie.
Simon, I must have been insane. I'm a horrible, jealous beast. I don't deserve to live.
It's all right, Jackie. I understand.
You understand? You don't hate me?
No, Jackie. Everything was messed up. We were all responsible. You and I and Linda. We won't ever see each other again, but I want you to know I bear no malice.
Thank you, Simon. That'll help.
I suppose you've heard about Linda.
Yes. Horrible. I feel responsible for that, too.
No, don't feel that way. Mr. Poirot knows you didn't do it. He knows who did.
Do you, Mr. Poirot?
Oui, mademoiselle. It is very simple. From the very beginning, there was one question that perplexed me. Why did the murderer point the finger of suspicion at you, even to the extent of leaving your compact, and then take your gun away with him? It would have been more convincing if he had left it.
Well, what's the answer?
There can be only one answer, Captain. The murderer took the gun away because he needed it.
Needed it? What for?
Why, to shoot someone.
But no one was shot after Mrs. Doyle's murder.
You are wrong, Captain. Someone was shot. Monsieur Simon Doyle.
Oh, no, Mr. Poirot. You've got it wrong. Simon was shot before Mrs. Doyle was killed.
Let us say, Miss Belfort, rather, that Simon was shot at before Mrs. Doyle was killed. But he was not hit. The bullet struck a table as it was intended to. I have but a few minutes ago recovered it.
Well, that's impossible, Mr. Poirot. I saw him a second later. He was writhing on the floor in agony.
One can pretend to writhe.
But the blood. His handkerchief was clutched over his leg and it was saturated with red.
Oui, red ink, monsieur. Red ink mixed with nail polish. And smelling very distinctly of vinegar, as all ink does.
Mr. Poirot.
Oui, mon capitaine?
This is all beyond me. Please explain what happened.
Why, it is very simple, monsieur. Two people decide to commit a murder. They prepare for it a perfect alibi. At a prearranged signal, Miss Belfort picks a fight and pretends to shoot Monsieur Doyle in the leg. He falls to the floor, apparently injured and bleeding. Miss Belfort is taken away, and Monsieur Doyle is free for 5 minutes. He snatches the gun from under the sofa, slips down to his wife's room, murders her, and returns to the card room. Then, and this required great courage, he shoots himself in the leg and hurls the gun overboard through the open porthole. Voila.
And a minute later, when I came back with the doctor, his leg really was fractured.
And he has the perfect alibi. He actually cannot move. Alors, Monsieur Doyle? You are very silent. But your face, it is very expressive.
You're a devil, Poirot. It would have worked with anybody.
Simon! No, we didn't.
It is no use, mademoiselle. You love this young man deeply, but you love wealth even more, eh? Enough to kill for it. And now, you see, you and your lover, too, have a rendezvous with death.
Be sure to listen at the same time next week when Agatha Christie, America's favorite mystery writer, brings you her favorite detective, Hercule Poirot, in The Deadest Man in the World. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, one thing I will say for the writers of the Agatha Christie's Poirot is they were very conscious of the need to give Poirot some good, solid mysteries, and I think this was definitely one. And it's nice too, because sometimes when we listen to Sherlock Holmes episodes, it feels like, oh, come on. This is not a case worthy of the great Sherlock Holmes. But this one, with all the twists and turns, it was just absolutely remarkable, the way that this worked out. It had me guessing the first time I heard it, trying to figure out what was going on here. So, great episode. And I should mention we did skip around a bit. This episode was from July of 1945, and there were 7 episodes between last week's show and this week's. However, we don't have titles for any of them. But I do love the title for next week's show, and we do have that episode for you, and I'll be excited to bring it to you. Alright, well that will do it for today. We will be back tomorrow with Let George Do It, and join us on next Tuesday for another adventure with Monsieur Poirot. Today's episode of The Great Detectives of Old Time Radio is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for your support. This week's episode of Let George Do It's a little bit different because we don't have Bob Bailey in the lead. Due to an illness, Bailey was not able to appear in this show, and the role went to Ken Peters. Those of you who listened to Dragnet and paid really close attention may recall Peters was actually played one of the fill-in partners for Joe Friday during the space between Ben Romero and Frank Smith. He was best known, perhaps, for his roles on This Man's Family, Carlton Morse's long-time-running soap opera. After he finished his acting career, he dropped out of acting in the 60s. He began a second career as a minister. Ken Peters was actually a stage name. His real name was Ken Fagerlin. On Life of Luigi, he played the role of Olsen, who was Swedish. That was notable because all the other actors were playing people of different ethnicities than themselves. But Fagerlin was playing someone who was actually Swedish. All right, well, I got a little bit on Ken Peters / Ken Fagerlin. So here now is today's episode of Let George Do It. Knock on wood.
Personal notice. Danger is my stock in trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you've got a job for me, George Valentine. Write full details. Oil Company of California, on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations throughout the West, invite you to Let George Do It. Knock on Wood, another adventure of George Valentine.
My dear Mr. Valentine, I need your assistance most desperately. I am a landlord. Oh, yes, one of those poor, malign creatures who happen to own a building. Happen to? No, I'll be honest. It's my life, the culmination of my desire, my only love. And I'm sure you'll forgive my sentimentality when you realize it is none other than the Alfred J. Liggett Golden Tower apartment building. Oh, yes, I am Alfred J. Liggett. Well, Mr. Valentine, a person of much lesser achievement is threatening my horizon. To be blunt about it, my very reputation itself is in imminent danger. Please come quickly. I am desperate. Never in my life has my entire fortune been so threatened. You see, I have been a very lucky man. Knock on wood.
I'm sure this is the right door. Knock louder, George.
Yeah. It's pretty plush around here.
It's a quiet house, mister. No need to make a lot of racket.
Huh?
Boss will hear you. No need for excitement.
Are you the janitor?
Guess you dropped that cigarette wrapper by mistake.
Oh, no, we didn't drop anything.
Try to keep it nice and clean. Tenants like it that way. No pets or children, you know. Wastebasket at the end of every hall in case you have any more trouble.
Oh, Mr. Liggett?
Oh, Mr. Valentine and Miss Brooks. Come in quickly, please. Yes.
Sure. We just been blackballed by your janitor.
Newson. Oh, he's a wonderful fellow. Salt of the earth. Old-fashioned conscientiousness. You don't find them like that anymore. Keeps everything clean as a whistle, night and day.
I can imagine. The Golden Tower must be a very homey place to live.
Why, thank you, Miss Brooks. Oh, yes, indeed. We pride ourselves
Mr.
on...
Liggett, what's your problem? You wrote you've got trouble. What is it?
Mr. Valentine, it's the 15th floor, apartment A. Oh, my, I'm at a complete loss.
Well?
I made a dreadful mistake 2 months ago when I leased it. And now he's come back again. He goes away for a time, but now he's come back again. Mr. Valentine, I tell myself nothing will happen. I've always been very lucky. Knock on wood. But no, it's gone beyond mere hoping.
What has? Who has? What are you talking about?
To be quite blunt, I am persecuted and beset by an undesirable tenant.
Oh.
But the complaint isn't really mine, you understand. I'm very tolerant.
Well, I'm sure you are.
But it's the tenant in 16A, the next floor, right over him. And there's the rub.
Look, Mr. Liggett, you've lost me.
One of my oldest tenants, 16A, a most delightful woman. So wealthy, but no sham, no pretense. And naturally, I must consider her first, mustn't I?
You've got problems. You figure them out.
Mr. Valentine, listen. If she complains, I don't blame her for complaining. This man who lives under her, he's a lot more than just a trial and a nuisance.
But what on earth could you expect us to do?
Well, he's a lot bigger than I am. Bigger than Newson, or both of us rolled together. I want you to talk to the lady. That's Mrs. Fairchild. And then talk to him.
I'm sorry, Mr. Liggett, but this
man is a criminal. Doesn't that interest you?
A criminal?
Yes, he is. Since he swindled me into a lease, I've discovered he's actually been to prison. Yes, twice. He's a gambler. He's notorious. And to have him right here in my beloved tower, he calls himself Side Bet Sinclair.
Oh, Side Bet Sinclair.
Ah, his name does mean something. Oh, yes, there, you see. And Mr. Valentine, this person has clearly stated that if Mrs. Fairchild dares to complain about him once more, he will wring her neck like a chicken.
Excuse the bathrobe, lady. Would have worn my good one if I'd have known you was coming. One with eggs Benedict on it.
You get up a little late, Mr. Sinclair. So do your jokes.
Well, I live like a king. What do you think? Been to Santa Anita cleaned up. Back to collect a few debts, that's all. Why not enjoy yourself? Only live once. You should see my bathroom. That's my office. Oh, I tell you, I never had it so good.
Yeah, well, I'm only here because I'm sucker enough to...
Because of her up there, old Lady Fairchild? Boy, have I got those people buffaloed. What did she say about me?
Well, we decided to reverse the order and ask you first.
I can imagine you're not much to live over.
Wring her neck. I'll wring her neck. That's what I'll do. I'm straight with the law, Valentine. Everybody's happy except the ones who owe me money. Oh, now relax. Have a bottle of soda pop.
I beg your pardon?
I got an ulcer. Serve root beer at parties. Big, riotous underworld parties. And you know what they're like. You've been to movies.
Is that her complaint?
You know what she does? She knocks like this. Raps on the floor, see? With her cane. I tell you, it kills people. You wouldn't believe it.
I think I might. Okay, Buster, it's just a joke to you, huh?
Well, what's it to you? This is a pretty silly job you're doing, you know.
Never mind. At least I could enjoy throwing you out if I had to.
You're pretty funny yourself. You think I'm a little out of my class here, huh? Well, you want to make a little side bet on what you decide to do after you talk to her? Or on whom is liable to get killed by who?
Oh, go take your bath. Come on, Brooksy.
Oh, these crispy crunches. I just love them for breakfast, don't you?
Sure, Mrs. Fairchild. Just adore them.
I'm saving the box tops, you know. Not much left for a poor little lady like me to do. People don't realize.
We only wanted to know about Mr. Sinclair.
Yeah, and then we'll leave. Quickly.
Oh, no. You stay and talk to me. That's what you'll do. Soon as I finish my breakfast, we'll all have coffee.
About your complaint regarding Mr. Sinclair, just...
Oh, Sinclair, you know, he's an awful man. He's simply awful. And poor dear Mr. Liggett worries about it so. I tell you, sometimes parties down there last until 11 or 12 at night.
Sounds pretty sinful.
Mm-hmm. I beg your pardon? Young man, you're not defending.
Oh, no, of course not. But he himself doesn't drink, apparently.
Oh, no. They're not that kind of parties.
And this place is such thick carpets and heavy construction, I can't imagine you can hear much from down there, can you? For instance, his radio was playing just a second ago, but I don't hear it now, do you?
Oh, but you can hear it with a glass on the floor.
What?
Well, you put a glass on the floor and put your ear down against the glass. Didn't you ever do that?
Well, for the love of...
Oh, aren't you old enough maybe yet to admit it? Well, here, I'll show you.
I'm sorry, lady, but that does it.
Oh, will it just take a minute?
Never mind. Come on, Angel, we're getting out of here. I want to go down and knock on the wooden head of that landlord.
No, wait. I'm showing you. Oh, my, and the things I can hear. Aren't you interested in that? Things about the underworld? Here, help me. I'm not very steady.
I'll bet they talk mostly about women.
Mrs. Fairchild, I wouldn't care if they talked in pig Latin to the ghost of Julius Caesar.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. You don't care that he's liable to wring my neck? Is that it?
Here, sit down again. I'm sorry, but frankly, Mrs.
No,
Fairchild...
I'm all right. Yes, wring my neck. Now, I know it's silly, but it is exciting, don't you think? And for a lonely woman, there's so little excitement.
George, catch her. Oh! She was wobbling on you. Something was wrong with her. George, I'll phone Liggett to get a doctor.
Skip it. She didn't faint. She's dead.
Right, Doc. Hurry it up. Rest of the crew will be here in a minute.
She was just talking to us, Lieutenant.
I know, and down she went. Well, at her age, what do you...
Nothing to do with it.
Huh?
It was the milk, not age. That's my first guess.
Smells like it.
What do you mean, Doctor? She was only eating cold cereal.
And milk. With enough poison in it to kill off a herd of buffalo.
Poison. Whole bottles that way. And it must have been delivered early this morning and sat outside her door where practically anybody could have got...
about the underworld.
Huh?
What she heard. She was a snoop. I wonder if she really did hear anything important, Brooksy.
What she heard might have been the reason for this, you mean?
Hey, where are you going?
To bring a guy up here, Johnson. A guy who just might have been kidding about something he really meant.
Here we are, George. Oh.
Hello? You coming to see the great side better, too?
Yeah, ring the bell, will you?
That's what I'm doing. Your eyes bad or something?
I'm in a hurry, that's all. Here, let me...
I don't hear the bell. What did he do? Disconnected or something?
A little disconnected himself.
You a friend of Sinclair's, Buster?
The name's Hale, if you don't mind. Hale, but not Hardy. He doesn't have any friends. I'm a new lawyer. I collect debts for him. I'm crazy.
So am I.
So is he. Got more people owing him money than the Department of Internal Revenue. He thinks it's funny. He thinks everything's funny.
Yeah, well, there's a little matter upstairs you might not laugh off. Sinclair, where are you? Hey!
He must have gone out, George. He's certainly...
Hey, where you are, lady.
What?
His office is in the bathroom.
Oh.
The bathtub.
Oh, well, excuse me.
What are you talking about?
Telephone, reading stand, cigar, and all.
Yeah. On the radio. Only it's not playing now, is it?
Holy mackerel.
Don't touch him. Yeah. Side bed himself. Taking a bath.
But here, help me. The guy...
You can't help him. He's dead. And he didn't just drown, either. When a radio is fixed like this and falls into a bathtub, it's called electrocution.
Return to tonight's adventure of George Valentine in just a moment.
Listen to the difference. Yes, now you can actually hear authentic scientific proof of the difference between new RPM motor oil and premium-type motor oils, as designated by the American Petroleum Institute. Auto engines are equipped with irradiated piston rings, and during operation, minute particles of radioactive metal wear off the rings. Geiger counters are thus able to detect the amount of wear actually taking place. Listen now as the Geiger counters click off the difference. First, the low wear rate of the new RPM. Now, the much faster wear rate of the conventional oil. Now, new RPM again. You have just heard authentic scientific proof that new RPM motor oil cuts in half the wear rate of critical engine parts, doubles the life of the average auto engines between major overhauls due to lubrication.
Proved in the laboratory and checked out in severe road service, new RPM motor oil is sold with a money-back guarantee of satisfaction. Ask for it at standard stations and independent Chevron gas stations where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. Now, back to tonight's adventure of George Valentine. If you want good luck, then knock on wood. That's what Mr. Liggett does, the proud owner and manager of the beautiful Golden Tower Apartments. And look at the luck it brings him. The woman in 16A, Mrs. Fairchild, is killed by poison. And now, only a few minutes later, another of his tenants, a slightly different sort of person known as Sidebet Sinclair, is dead, too, on the 15th floor. Only this wasn't a poisoning. If your name is George Valentine, the way you'd put it is that when a radio is fixed like this and falls into a bathtub, it's called electrocution.
It's called murder, you mean? Well, where is it?
Through here, Johnson. Here we are.
That's what it was, all right, Lieutenant. Radio falling in a tub gives a shock big enough to kill off a herd of buffalo.
You're repeating yourself, Doctor. You said that about Mrs. Fairchild's poison.
Still true. Oh, not that you could get that many buffalo into a bag.
All right, all of you clear out.
Oh, is that Mamselle?
Not you, Doc. Stay there. I just phoned for an extra crew to help you.
I just want to know.
Come on, everybody, please. Nothing to be curious
This
about.
is the building we live in. What's going on? We certainly deserve an explanation.
Did any of you see anybody come into Mr. Sinclair's room in the last quarter hour? All right, then, all right. It's all under control. Nothing for anybody to worry about. That's it. We'll call on any of you that we need. That's it.
You'd better get that lawyer, though, Lieutenant. Mr. Hale, that friend of Sinclair's.
Oh, yeah. Take care of it, Sergeant. Oh, brother, what a day this is turning out to be. No sooner one
Take
happens...
it easy, Johnson. It's all under control. Nothing to worry about.
Valentine, I admire your courage. But there isn't time for sarcasm.
Why not? These two deaths are certainly linked up together, aren't they?
Course they are. Simple as a Chinese puzzle. A snoopy little woman and a big-time gambler. I'm just surprised they weren't both murdered the same way.
Now you're doing it. Okay, Johnson, but look at what you know so far. The old lady did hear things, maybe, from Sinclair's apartment here. And Sinclair himself must have certainly had enemies.
So Sinclair was up to something and Mrs. Fairchild heard it, and it was so important that the person who was involved killed both of them. Sure.
It doesn't make much sense, does it, George? Sinclair was too smart to go yelling about things, and she wouldn't have understood anything she heard anyway.
Well, they're tied up together in some way.
Both done in by the same crackpot, if you ask me.
Huh? Who let you in?
Oh, hello. The janitor, Lieutenant.
Name's Newton. Your sergeant called me. Only I got work I should be doing. Every fuse box in the whole place blown out. You know that? Lucky you didn't catch the whole building on fire. That's Sinclair and...
Wait a minute. What did you say about a crackpot?
Just what the other tenants are saying out in the hall. Nice, peaceful place until you got here. Everything neat and clean. Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Some madman or lunatic.
Well, don't wave your finger at me. I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, I am. Newton, who delivers the milk here?
What?
Facts, come on. Who delivered a bottle of Dutch Farm Guernsey to Mrs. Fairchild's door upstairs?
Same man's done it for 10 years. Who do you think?
I've already started on that line through the dairy, Valentine.
Name's Frank something. Makes a lot of deliveries in the building. Too dumb to be mixed up in anything.
You see him come in?
Of course I did. I see everybody come in.
You what?
You heard me. Nightman's been sick the past week. I've been on duty.
Where?
Lobby. Propped up in a chair right next to the elevator.
Well, whom did you see?
Nobody. Milkman, that's all. What of it?
Inside. Somebody from inside.
Maybe. And the milkman's probably all right. So somebody must have tampered with that milk in the hall after he delivered it.
Lunatic. Crackpot.
And today maybe the same person came in here and gave Sinclair's radio a shove. Only that'd have to be somebody who could come in without surprising him, right?
He always left the door open.
Well, that's not what I mean. Somebody who knew his habits, that's all.
Like the other. Somebody right here from this building.
From it? You mean in it, don't you? In it. Right now.
Now, look, Mr. Valentine, I can't help you tie these two things together. You're trying to add sheep and goats. That Fairchild
From you,
woman...
I just want to know about Sinclair, Mr. Hale.
Well, Lieutenant Johnson just ran past me there in the hall, and he didn't ask
Well,
me.
he decided he'd better run a fast check of the other tenants. Mr. Liggett's with him.
People hated Sidebed. I told you that.
A lot of characters in debt to him, huh?
Sure, with plenty of reason to kill him. Self-defense practically for anybody to kill Sinclair. A very unpleasant man. Gambler who always collected. Had a smile like a death warrant.
You're his lawyer. You should know.
Just got the job, miss. Big money. I'm a man with ideals.
Big money, sure. Yeah. But stay on the rails. Any of those characters in the building in trouble with Sinclair?
You mean any of them live here? No, I don't think so. And if one of them did do it, how do you explain that woman upstairs
He doesn't yet, Mr. Hale. One thing at a time.
No, both things at once.
Stubborn type, isn't he?
I don't believe in crackpot killings.
There's a neat, simple explanation for everything.
Mr. Valentine! Mr. Valentine!
It's Mr. Liggett, George.
Right here.
Mr. Valentine, 16A, 15A.
What's your trouble, friend?
What am I going to do? My whole life,
what
my
about
building...
16 and 15A? Get your breath, will you? I thought you were with Johnson.
I came to get you. He's downstairs in 14A. There's another woman there. Dead.
The woman at 14A, who was she?
The woman, that's all. There's no possible connection. She's a school teacher, Mr. Hale, and she lives here.
Hey, wait a minute. The elevators are down this way.
No. This is faster. You don't have to wait. Just straight ahead there. It's the way we went before.
But what happened to this woman? What did she...
Strangled. Just a few minutes ago. She'd just gone to answer her door, apparently, and someone was there. And it happened. A few minutes ago, I tell you, there's someone in the...
Calm down, will you, Liggett?
Here. This door.
What's this? Fire stairs?
Yes. Come on. Be careful of the railing.
Hold it.
Go on, Valentine. The stairs are too narrow.
I said stop, both of you.
Yes, but Lieutenant Johnson is...
He'll live without us for a second.
You like the view or something? You're trying to make yourself dizzy looking down?
Skip it, Hale. I used these stairs before. This is an inside fire escape, isn't it? Only those doors to it aren't locked.
Well, not in a building like this.
Where does it end? That's what I'm trying to see.
At the back hall, by the alley.
Is that door locked? Down there, I mean.
Well, no, as a matter of fact. Oh, for heaven's sake, Valentine, at a time like this...
Somebody could have come in this way last night, couldn't he? To climb up here and tamper with some milk without being seen? And down below, Newton in the lobby by the elevators wouldn't have seen him.
All right, you solved it. Now let's get out.
Okay, let's move. 3 murders, all in a row.
You think he'll stop at 3?
Oh, well, be quiet, both of you. I can't stand it.
Liggett, what are the rest of the facts on this?
Oh, leave him alone. He's knocking on wood to stop a fourth.
Please, I said.
Concrete place like this, he'll have to use his own head.
Oh, stop. Don't talk like
that. Maybe you're right. Maybe there will be a 4th murder.
What's it? No, there won't. There can't be. Lieutenant Johnson has more police coming. They'll be here any minute.
Wait, Mr. Hale. Don't push.
But isn't this the door to the next floor?
It isn't marked. Neither are the apartments, I noticed. Just A, B, or C.
But of course it's 14. Come on, hurry up.
I like it better here. So do you guys. Besides, whatever 4th murder there is liable to be right here, isn't it?
What did you say?
Oh, come on. Let's keep on moving downstairs.
But this is the floor.
Mr. Liggett, you're liable to be the 4th corpse unless you shut up.
Bravo.
Listen, I'm not interested in that 3rd one. Because that's a murder that'll convince everyone forever that these are some sort of madman killings. Right? 3 in a row running right down a building?
Of course it's madman. But what did you say?
So suppose instead it was just a brutal, cold-blooded job to make people think that. Now, come on, downstairs.
Yeah. Mr. Valentine...
This woman was strangled, though. I'm interested in that. There are tests they can run, you know, on a man's hands. They can do it soon enough.
Will you please explain what you're talking about?
Mr. Liggett, you're a superstitious guy, aren't you? Knock on wood. And you own this building.
For the love of...
I'm making sense, friend. Just like this fire well does. Meaning that an outsider could be the murderer.
Meaning me? Well, so could anyone who lived in the building or owned it.
I don't think so. Hale, your so-called client Sinclair had an ulcer, didn't he? I guess he might have had milk delivered every night, too. Seems logical. People who plan a killing by poison usually don't make mistakes, I know, but they could if they didn't live here. If you walked up these steps last night, for instance, and counted as you walked, and made a mistake, and discovered it today, and corrected it by killing Sinclair, you pretended you were just going into his place, Hale, when we bumped into you there. Easiest thing to do, I guess, if you're caught just on your way out.
Liggett, what would you think of a detective?
Oh, be quiet. Sit down. Yeah, we'll all just sit here. On the 12th floor landing. Yeah. 16, 15, 14, 12.
Well, you know, it's so difficult to rent. Many buildings...
Yeah, I know, but Hale here didn't. Counted the floors and ended up one floor too high. Put poison in the wrong bottle. Mrs. Fairchild's. Didn't skip 13. No, 13th floor. Should have knocked on wood.
Yeah. What's that?
Oh, some of those extra policemen, I guess. Maybe there's a lab man with him, Hale. We can sit and wait for that test I talked about.
You're saying I did it? Any number of people could have...
All right, we'll wait for the proof.
Ridiculous. We will not. I'm getting out of here.
Mr. Valentine, don't let him
Get
go.
out of my way, or I'll...
No, Buster. You wouldn't pull another desperation murder with all those witnesses coming up, would you?
I said...
All right. Just take it easy.
No, he can get out in the hall. He can take the elevator to another floor. Why, he can...
Oh, no, he can't. The elevator won't work.
What do you mean? Of course it'll work.
No, it's an electric elevator, isn't it? Now, don't get sore, Hale. You did it yourself, you know. It was your murdering Sinclair half an hour ago that... Well, as Newton put it, blew out every fuse box in the joint. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
But, George, how did you guess there wasn't any 13th floor in that building?
That's quite common, Angel. Keep your eyes open. Notice the elevator buttons next time. Only, maybe you won't notice if you climb up the fire stairs.
Well, I don't understand how Hale could have...
Well, on Mrs. Fairchild, he made a mistake.
Oh.
Wrong floor, wrong bottle of milk. Seems, he was the one who owed Sinclair all that money. And he was afraid for his own neck, so he decided to kill him. Next day he did. Only we practically caught him at it without knowing.
Well, he didn't act nervous or anything.
Hale was desperate, Brooksy. Yeah, we would have found out it was a mistake in pretty short order, you know.
So he slipped off and committed another murder just to cover...
Sure, the bloodhounds would have gone off in the opposite direction fast. Maniac on the loose. No time to look for rhymes or reasons.
But he wasn't nervous or anything. I mean, I noticed he got lost in the shuffle there for a few minutes, too, but I...
Well, why does a murderer have to act like one? People don't always betray themselves, you know. They don't spill their emotions all over the place.
Don't spill their emotions all over... Oh. Well, some people certainly don't.
I don't know why you always expect them to.
You don't think I'm going to rise to that, do you? Well, I can sit here just as cold-blooded and showing nothing.
You sure, Angel?
For just about that long every time. Never longer. I hope. Knock on wood.
When you're out driving on the highway, there's nothing like having a clean windshield and a clean rear window every mile of the way. For clear vision, ahead and behind means greater driving comfort as well as greater personal safety. And helping you have clear vision is the speedy service offered to you at all standard stations and independent Chevron gas stations. Here you'll notice the men take pride in doing a thorough spick-and-span job on your windshield, and they're glad to offer you this service whenever you want it with no obligation on your part. Windshield care is but one of a number of car-saver services that are given as a regular procedure at these gas stations. Use them every day, and every day you'll enjoy your motoring. And remember, you're never far from an independent Chevron gas station or a standard station where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. Tonight's adventure of George Valentine has been brought to you by Standard Oil Company of California on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations throughout the West. Owing to the illness of Robert Bailey, the part of George was played tonight by Ken Peters. Virginia Gregg is Brooksy. Let George Do It is written by David Victor and Jackson Gillis and directed by Don Clark. Ken Christie's Lieutenant Johnson. John McIntyre was heard as Hale, Howard McNear as Liggett, Jeanette Nolan as Mrs. Fairchild, Joe Duvall as Sinclair, and Fred Howard as Newton. The music is composed and presented by Eddie Dunstetter. Your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to Let George Do It. Let George Do It is heard overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. I found that story about the 13th floor being missing from a lot of buildings fascinating. I can't say that it was my experience, but I've never been in a ton of 13-story buildings. So I'm perhaps not the greatest expert on that, but a solid conclusion to the case anyway. All right, well, now we turn to listener comments and feedback. Cynthia says, you mentioned on one of the Detectives podcasts that most people who have heard the reruns in the 60s and 70s. I grew up listening to reruns in the 90s. My dad was blind and would often listen to books on tape and radio. When I was 5, we lived in Southern California, and KNX 1070 always played old-time radio programs at 9. I grew up with many of the wonderful programs that you've made available. My dad died last year in September, and I'm really enjoying listening and remembering those years. There was one program that I can't remember the title of. It was about King the dog and mounted policemen in the Yukon. Have you heard of it, or anyone who has those in podcast form? The series you're looking for is Challenge of the Yukon, and Andrew Rhines does that as part of his Old Time Radio Westerns podcast, otrwesterns.com. And I should add that Old Time Radio is definitely not dead among the visually impaired community. A lot of people still listen. In fact, if you go into iTunes on their spoken word section, there is an Old Time Radio channel that I believe was put out exclusively by the American Council of the Blind under the radio station link. Finally, we have this from Jim. Thanks for doing such a fine job of presenting these radio shows and fleshing them out with information not easily accessible. I've been listening to for a few years now up in Spokane, Washington, and cannot go a day without downloading one of your programs. Thanks again. Keep up the great work. From Jim. Well, thanks so much, Jim. Appreciate your support and you listening in Spokane, the city of my father's birth, as well as my youngest brother. So, all right. Well, that will do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with Sherlock Holmes. Well, today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all your support. And it's time now for today's episode of Sherlock Holmes. I mentioned that the episode in between this week's show and last week's was missing. So we're going to pick it up from April 2nd, 1948 with The Sinister Crate of Cabbages.
From New York City, the makers of Clipper Craft Clothes for Men and 1,036 leading retail stores from coast to coast present the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Tonight's story, The Adventure of the Sinister Crate of Cabbages. Well, here we are, ready for our usual weekly tete-a-tete with our favorite storyteller, Dr. Watson. Our genial medico sits in his well-worn armchair with 2 telegrams spread out on his knees. One only seems worn, and the other is fresh and new. Not bad news, I hope, Dr. Watson.
Oh, no, Mr. Harris. Just a pair of cryptic communications from Sherlock Holmes. That one arrived today while I was enjoying a late breakfast.
Oh, what's it say, Doctor?
No, wait till I find my glasses. Here we are. Why not tell the radio public about your aversion to the Oleracea capitata? Regards, Holmes.
Olerah, or whatever you said. What's that, Doc?
Cabbage, Mr. Harris. Plain garden variety cabbage.
Oh, I know plenty of people who can't cope with boiled cabbage, Dr. Watson, but why Sherlock Holmes should suggest you give us a treatise on your particular weakness,
Oh, my aversion to cabbage, Mr. Harris, has nothing to do with my digestion, which is excellent.
Oh?
Oh, no, indeed. It's concerned with a crate of garden produce with which I came in rather intimate contact after a personal tussle with Professor Moriarty.
You had a hand-to-hand battle with Professor Moriarty.
Oh, I did indeed. As a matter of fact, the case is one in which I acquitted myself with a certain degree of distinction.
Good for you. Why not tell us about it?
I think I shall, after you tell our listeners how they can acquit themselves with distinction, as far as personal appearance goes, I mean.
Right. If you want to put your best foot forward, if you want to look neat, self-confident, and
Ship-shape is the word, Mr. Harris.
Yes, why, naturally, you'd be interested in Clippercraft clothes. When it comes to a man's clothes, you want to get a real run for your money. And you're entitled to it. You're entitled to clothes that are honestly made, fairly priced. Well, these days, with increased costs of materials and labor, the best way to make sure of getting full value for your dollar is to deal with people who make a business of giving you more for your money. That's the fine store in your community that sells Clippercraft clothes. Teamwork does it. 1,036 of the nation's finest stores from coast to coast concentrate their buying power in the unique Clippercraft plan. This gives a steady year-round operation, reduces manufacturing and distribution costs, gives you truly amazing values. That's why fine Clippercraft suits are only $40 and $45, superb tropical suits only $33.75 to $40, and sport jackets only $26.50. These days, the Clippercraft plan really goes to work for you, and you can prove it by comparing Clippercraft with clothes selling for many dollars more. And now, Dr. Watson, how about that struggle with Professor Moriarty that developed into such a dislike for cabbages?
Yes, it was shortly after my marriage. Mary and I were seated at breakfast one fine spring morning when the maid brought in a telegram. This one here, to be exact. It reads, have you a couple of days to spare? Have just been wired for from west of England in connection with Upper Tottenham mystery. If convenient, meet me Paddington at 11:15. If inconvenient, come all the same. Holmes.
What did your wife say to the summons, Doctor?
Oh, she urged me to go as usual. I suspect she was even more interested in Holmes' cases than I was. Consequently, in no time at all, she had me hustled into a cab with a hurriedly packed valise, and away I rattled to Paddington Station.
I suppose you arrived long before Mr. Holmes.
No, on the contrary. I found him pacing up and down the platform, his tall, gaunt figure made even gaunter and taller by his long traveling cloak and close-fitting cloth cap. As it turned out, the train was not too crowded, and by dint of giving the porter a scandalously large tip, Holmes managed to obtain us a first-class carriage to ourselves.
The autocrat as usual.
Oh, quite. He acknowledged my presence with a snort and surrounded himself with an immense litter of newspapers and periodicals. Among these he rummaged and read until we had passed Reading. Then he suddenly rolled them into a gigantic ball and heaved them up onto the rack.
The London press has almost completely overlooked the case, as usual. Have you read anything about it, Watson?
Well, my dear Holmes, I'm a busy man. I haven't seen a newspaper for days.
The whole affair is one of those simple outbursts of antisocial behavior which is so extremely difficult to get to the bottom of.
That sounds a little paradoxical.
Yes. The local banker, who up until the age of 63 has led an exemplary life, elopes with his wife's hairdresser and most of the bank's funds. The vicar of St. James's, Tottingham's most conservative church, kicks over the traces and joins a band of gypsies. The president of the Ladies' Temperance League delivers a speech on the joys of Bacchus on the village green. And the head of Miss Mellish's select seminary has taken to moonlight bathing in her shift.
Good Lord.
Yes. How would you go about explaining such an epidemic of unconventionality?
Well, that sounds like a pack of horses that has gotten into a patch of local weed.
That explanation is not as fantastic as it sounds, my dear Watson.
Holmes, you're not serious.
When the mayor of Upper Tottenham called for help from Scotland Yard, they were inclined to pooh-pooh the whole affair, until I suggested that Inspector Lestrade send down one of his bright young men to have a look around. I suggested they search for a hoard of a certain rare and little-known Oriental drug, which has the curious habit of taking away the willpower of anyone who takes or is given a dose of it.
Sounds like one of the hypnotics.
It is, Watson. In the hands of a reputable doctor, it can do much to relieve hysteria and depression. If administered by a scoundrel, it's capable of doing great harm.
Oh, yes, but who would want to?
My dear Watson, there are unfortunately a great many people with warped minds who delight in instigating mischief, or worse. Well, to make a long story short, young Balcom, the man Scotland Yard sent out to investigate, sent word yesterday in code that he'd found something suspicious. Not only has he discovered a cache of the stuff, but he believes it's now being shipped to some laboratory in London. In other words, Upper Tottingham's just the proving grounds for a much larger and more sinister project.
Oh, so you decided to come and investigate yourself,
Exactly. But better get your coat on, Watson. The next stop's ours. Just a small way station. Upper Tottingham itself's half a mile away. Hello, what's up? You all right, Watson?
That's a fine way to stop a train. Nearly broke the bottle of iodoform I carry in my hip pocket.
No wonder you smell so antiseptic these days, Watson.
Well, the practicing doctor never knows when he's going to need his iodoform. I came away in such a hurry I forgot to leave it behind.
You've got a doctor. You've got a doctor on the train.
Someone's running back along the tracks. There's been an accident.
I suspected as much.
I say there, my good man, I'm a doctor.
Thank God for that. A man's been hurt, run over. He's under the engine.
But I'll be right along. Oh, confound these doors, the way they lock. These compartments blasted. I can't get out. I've got to crawl through the window.
Calm yourself, Watson. You forget I can manage any lock. All I have to do is use this little tool and open sesame.
Oh.
After you, my dear Watson.
I say, let me through, will you? I say, I'm a doctor.
Thank the Lord you've come. Not that there's anything you can do for the poor chap, I'm afraid.
Well, I'll take a look anyway.
I couldn't stop the train. Whistle I didn't. Shoved on my brakes the first thing I saw him lying there across the tracks. Why did he have to go and pick my train if he wanted to commit suicide?
Then you, I take it, are the engineer.
That I am, sir. Tim Gregory, that's me. Been driving this here train for 27 years. The first time I ever had an accident like this. If a man wants to commit suicide, why don't he go and drown himself or take poison or something neat and tidy? Why throw himself under a body's train? I blew my whistle, you heard me, you all heard me.
Yes, it wasn't your fault.
There he lay across the tracks. He had plenty of time to get out of the way.
He was lying on the tracks? What makes you think he wasn't dead already?
His arm. When I whistled, he moved his arm.
Moved his arm? Yes, I think I'll just take a look at that body myself.
And what good will that do?
My good man, I happen to be Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes, the detective? Well, why didn't you say so before? Here, you clear the way, clear the way. Sherlock Holmes wants to take a look at the body.
Sherlock
Here he is, sir, poor chap.
Well, Watson, what's the verdict?
Dead, right enough. Not too badly mangled, however. Here, have a look, Holmes. What's the matter? Why do you look like that?
Did you know the man? Maybe then you can tell us why he committed suicide.
This isn't suicide. It's murder.
Murder?
But that's ridiculous, Holmes. There are no wounds except those made by the train.
And yet he was unconscious when the train ran over him. He must have been.
You mean drugged? But there's no smell of chloroform, no sign of drugs. The pupils of his eyes are neither dilated nor contracted.
Maybe if you look in his pockets, you'll find a clue.
I doubt it.
Here's his wallet. No identification papers.
No, there wouldn't be.
But there's quite a bit of money. And his watch is here in his pocket. At any rate, it wasn't robbery.
What makes you so sure it wasn't suicide, Mr. Holmes?
His glasses.
But he isn't wearing glasses.
Exactly. Young Balcom always wore glasses. Couldn't walk 2 feet without them.
Balcom? You mean this is young Balcom from...
The land agent who was going to show us the property we were interested in. Yes, Watson.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but look here, Mr. Holmes. Even if he wore glasses, they could hardly be on him now. Or they'd have been knocked off and crushed, like as not.
And the fragments of glass would be scattered about. There is no broken glass and no rims. Mr. Balcom always wore gold-rimmed glasses. Watson, you go ahead to the station. It's only 200 or 300 yards up the track.
Righto.
Tell the station master to send a stretcher. I'll be along in a minute. Wait for me in the waiting room.
A deserted little station. Looks as if a good wind would blow it over. I say, station master. Hey there, I say, station master. Probably gone on down to have a look at the accident. Hello. This platform is crowded with crates. Crates of cabbages. From the looks of it, Upper Tottingham could be the cabbage-producing centre of the world. Phew, I feel a bit dizzy. Oh, probably too much sun. All that blood. Stupid of me. Doctor should be used to blood. Oh, I better go into the waiting room and sit down for a bit. Door's open. Looks cool in there. Deserted as the tomb. Smells musty in here. Everyone's gone down to enjoy the accident. What a rotten way to spend a beautiful day. Sit down, Watson, old boy. Stop thinking about it. Over there on the bench. Hello? Stepped on something. Pieces of glass. Broken glass. Wait a minute, let's have a look at it. Yes, by Jove, broken lens. Broken spectacle lens. There must be more somewhere. Yes, over by that door. Doors lead into an inner room of some sort. Probably baggage room. Let's have a look, Watson, my lad. Yes, baggage room, right enough. More crates of cabbages. Let's see. Yes, by thunder, more bits of glass. Quite a lot, and something else. Bits of twisted wire. Good Lord, yes, it's the rims of young Balcom's glasses. The gold rims. This is where he lost them. Broken. Broken to bits.
Quite right, my dear Dr. Watson.
Who are you?
Around here, I'm known as Old Pennyfield, the station agent. But if you take a closer look, I think you will recognize an old acquaintance.
Good Lord! Professor Moriarty, what in blazes are you doing here?
Seeing that the cabbages from a certain local farm reach their proper market in London. They are very valuable cabbages, my dear Watson.
It's good of you to take an interest in them. But you don't keep the station very tidy. All this broken glass lying about. So messy.
Yes, I thought you might notice that. I was just coming back to attend to it. One cannot be in two places at once, you know. As it was, your young friend from Scotland Yard nearly missed his train.
So you hit him over the head in here and dragged his body out and laid it on the tracks,
It was only a tap. He was just coming to when the train arrived. What you would call a close squeak, eh?
Oh, you murderer! Why did you kill him?
He was becoming too interested in my dear little cabbages. I don't like people who come in here and poke around my cabbages.
Well, I'll tell them about the cabbages. I'll tell them who killed Balcom. I'll tell them you're the notorious Professor Moriarty.
Oh, no, you won't, my dear Watson.
Oh, I wouldn't try to kill me if I were you, Moriarty. I'll shout the house down. There's quite a crowd gathered. They'll hear me down by the train. You wouldn't have time to dispose of the body before they came pouring in here. Led by my friend Sherlock Holmes,
Don't alarm yourself, my dear Dr. Watson. I have no intention of killing you. Oh, no, I'm not that stupid.
Oh, well, now you're showing some sense.
No, I shall reserve you for another purpose. You shall be my prize guinea pig.
What?
You may have heard of my little experiments down here. The banker who eloped, the minister who became a gypsy, they served as the first examples of my new process.
What's that?
I have perfected a new drug. It can remove a man's willpower. It makes his conscience, his sense of right or wrong, completely inoperative. I shall take you to my laboratory in London, where I shall remove your willpower. Yes, I have come far in my study of the human brain. I can remove your willpower as easily as I can remove your tonsils.
Now look here, you scoundrel!
Don't be perturbed. I shall allow you to retain your own personality. In fact, I can promise you that you will be back among your friends inside of, shall we say, 5 days. The only difference will be that you will have no scruples about reporting everything to me, particularly the activities and investigations of our mutual friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I won't do it, and you can't make me.
You have very little choice.
Oh? Well, I'll yell the roof off.
You've missed the chance for that, I'm afraid. Yes, I was waiting for the 4:10 train to pass through. Here she comes. Yell your head off. How convenient. One of my cabbage crates was still open. How neatly the good doctor fits inside. Ah, so cozy. Looks quite comfortable. Now a few cabbages to cover him up, so he won't catch cold.
A course, you want fine quality in your clothes. Indeed, you owe it to yourself, and what's more, it can be yours without paying a premium for it. Because we concentrate on giving you outstanding value, you can't go wrong at the fine store in your community that sells Clippercraft clothes. We planned it that way a long time ago. Your local independent store is part of the remarkable Clippercraft plan, the plan that concentrates the buying power of 1,036 of the nation's greatest stores from coast to coast. That's why you can buy beautifully tailored suits at only $40 and $45, handsome tropicals at only $33.75 to $40, and sport jackets at only $26.50. Yes, selling expensive clothes at inexpensive low prices at the nation's finest stores is the great big idea behind the Clippercraft plan. That's why men who know insist on Clippercraft clothes. So be sure to visit the Clippercraft store in your city. And remember, that's one of the 1,036 leading retail stores across the nation, where courtesy and friendly service are always yours. The store that is proud to add its fine name to that of Clippercraft clothes in the label of your suit, topcoat, sport jacket, and tropical. And remember also, not every pattern is always available in your size, but keep on trying. It will pay you to wait for Clippercraft clothes. And now back to the little railway station at Upper Tottingham. Holmes has just arrived on the platform with the local constable and two men carrying a heavy pine box.
Thank you, Constable. Have the men put it there.
Yes, sir. Hey there, lads. Put the coffin there on the platform so Mr. Sherlock Holmes can take it up to London by the next train.
Right, easy now, Albert.
It do seem such a pity. You coming down here on purpose to see the poor chap, Mr. Holmes. Worried about something special? One of your cases, perhaps?
Nothing like that, I'm afraid, Constable. Just a friend of mine going to show me a piece of property he thought I might be interested in.
Then why do you suppose he had to go and get melancholy and do away with himself at a time like that?
I'm sure I wouldn't know. I say, would you be good enough to step inside the station and see if you can find my friend, Dr. Watson?
With pleasure, Mr. Holmes, sir. What would he look like now?
Rather settled sort of chap. Top hat, slight moustache, getting a bit portly. Oh, yes, he had a flower in his buttonhole. Married man. His wife grows pansies and stuff.
Righto, Mr. Holmes. I understand, sir. Waiting room's empty as my pocket. Hey, you station master. I say, Pennyfield.
What you want now? I'm busy counting up before the night man comes on.
Have you seen a fat man about? Top hat with a pansy in his buttonhole?
I have that. Said he was a doctor. Said he'd been to see the man they killed. Told me all about it. Nasty accident it must have been.
Well, it wasn't nice.
Yes, must have been right unpleasant. He acted like it had turned his stomach. So I told him why not have a bit of a lie down over there on the bench by the window.
But the bench is empty. Where's he gone off to?
How, didn't I tell you? Well, when the 412 came along, I helped him aboard. He said he'd best be getting back to London. Said to tell his friend Mr. Sherlock Jones not to wait for him.
Sherlock Holmes, you ninny, not Jones. The Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Who's he?
The greatest detective in the world, that's all. Why, he can deduce your whole life history by looking at your pocket handkerchief.
Well, then why don't he come and deduce his friend has gone back to London when he sees me waiting room's empty?
He's got more important things to do, that's why. He's taken the victim of today's catastrophe back to London in a pine box. Seems he was an acquaintance.
Well, he'll have a bit of a wait. There won't be another train until the 6:10.
Well, I'll go tell him. Right. Mr. Holmes, sir.
Yes, Constable?
It seems your friend Dr. Watson got tired of waiting and went back to London by the 4:10.
Confound it, why do you suppose he did that?
Well, the station master said he looked a bit wonky. Sent word you wasn't to wait for him.
That's not like Watson. To leave me sitting here alone with a coffin. By the way, how long do I have to wait for the next train up to London?
Well, I'm afraid there won't be one along until the 6:10. That's a bit of a wait, sir. Maybe you'd step down the road and have a dish of tea with me and the missus. She'd be that bucked up to be entertaining Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Thank you, Constable, but it's not possible, I'm afraid.
Well, why not, sir? You've got a good hour and a half wait.
I know, but I can't leave the body. I don't want anything else to happen to it.
Good Lord, what else could happen to it?
I don't know, Constable. I don't know. But I have a very definite suspicion that today's adventure isn't finished. I must say it's very decent of you to let me ride up here in the luggage van.
God bless the company, sir.
It's lonesome sometimes with nothing but trunks and crates of cabbages and things, rolling away through the countryside at night with no one to talk to. Sometimes I get to wondering what's in all those boxes. It's good to have someone around, especially when there's a coffin aboard.
Yes, I'm afraid I'm not very good company tonight.
I understand, sir. It's not what you might call cheerful, accompanying the remains of a friend. I say, the old whistle do sound eerie tonight, don't she?
Yes.
I always says there's nothing so lonely as a train whistle going along across country after everyone else is safe in bed. Excuse me. Was it a close friend of yours, sir? I mean the deceased.
No, I knew him only slightly, but I felt responsible for him, don't you know? Confounded, I'm the one that suggested he come down to Upper Tottingham. If he hadn't come, he'd probably be alive and well.
Now, don't you take on about it, sir. It's fate, that's what it is. When a chap's number's up, why, it's up, that's all. I was wondering if...
It's a bad cold you've got there.
No, it's not a cold, sir. It's just that whenever they ship those full cabbages up from London, they makes me sneeze.
Aha! You're probably allergic to cabbages.
What's that?
A new theory of sensitivity I'm working on. Mark my words, in a few years from now, people will be bragging that they're allergic to all kinds of things.
Wait, Scott, aren't there enough plagues in the world now that you scientific chaps have to go and think up more? Why, time was...
Yes, it certainly is draughty here. No wonder you get the sniffles. I feel a bit sneezy myself.
Here, I'll fix your place out of the breeze. Here, on this crate of cabbages, between these eye trunks.
Yes, that's better. More sheltered. I could almost swear... I say, guard, do you smell something over here? No, I suppose that's asking too much with that cold.
Yes, sir. With me nose in this condition, I couldn't smell a pig pen if I was standing smack in the middle of it.
Pity.
What's the trouble, sir? You look worried.
That smell, slightly medical, reminds me of my friend. We came down on the train together this morning.
Is it the body in the coffin?
Oh, good Lord, no. Someone I know very well. We lived together for years. If I could only be sure my friend got home safely. I have the strangest foreboding, as if my friend were... well, trying to tell me something.
That's what happens to a man. Just like me and Emmeline. That's my wife. And when first I met her, everywhere I looks, there was Emmeline. I sees her in the soup. I sees her in the butter. When I go out, when I come in, asleep, awake, there's always her face in front of me.
Horrible.
Oh, then I liked it, sir. But by and by we gets married, and now we has 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls. They all looks like Emmeline. Everywhere I looks, I sees Emmeline, eating porridge, swinging in the apple tree, making snoots at me when I says, go to bed now. That's what love does to a man.
My case is not similar, I assure you.
I know, you just live with your friend. Believe me, there's very little difference.
Believe me, there's a great deal of difference. My friend happens to be a man, a happily married man.
With children?
No.
Oh.
I just can't understand why he left me in the middle of an emergency and took the 4:10 from Upper Tottingham back to London.
People gets notional sometimes. You know... Say, did you say the 4:10?
Yes.
From Upper Tottenham?
Yes, of course.
But that's impossible.
Why?
Because today's Wednesday, and on Wednesdays the 4:10 don't stop at Upper Tottingham.
Doesn't stop? What's the next train that does?
This one, the one we're on. Upper Tottingham isn't an important stop. Only the locals make it, and not all of those.
But then, confound it, what's happened to Watson?
Watson? Who's he?
My friend, bastard. The one this smell reminds me of.
I don't smell nothing.
What was that?
Sounded like someone smashed a glass.
The smell's getting stronger. By Jove, it is iodoform.
You're right, sir. Even I can smell it now.
Look here. Something's dripping out of this crate of cabbages.
It's dark. Maybe it's blood.
No, it's the stuff that smells. What's iodoform doing in a lot of cabbages? Here, help me get the top of the crate.
But why do you...
Don't argue. Help me, confound it. This crate was put on at Upper Tottingham, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right, but I don't see what that's got to do with the price of cheese.
I'll show you in a moment.
Here comes the lid. Here you are, sir. Nothing but cabbages.
Get them out of there. Help me.
But I say, sir, you can't go chucking cabbages about like that. But... Glory be, what's that under him? It's a man, all trussed up like a New Year's goose.
Give me your knife so I can cut the gag.
Right-o.
Easy, Watson. We'll have you out of there in a jiffy.
And about time. There I sat listening to you two drivel on about your private lives like 2 schoolgirls. Here, untie my feet. If I hadn't finally managed to smash the iodoform bottle in my pocket, you probably never would have found me.
Watson, how in heaven's name did you manage to get yourself in this predicament?
I discovered young Balcom's glasses smashed in the baggage room up at Nottingham.
Oh?
Holmes, the station master is Professor Moriarty. He's shipping drugs into London in the leaves of those confounded cabbages. I was being sent on to his laboratory. Holmes, he was going to make an experiment on me, like a guinea pig.
Splendid.
What's so good about that?
Moriarty may have slipped through our fingers again, but thanks to your efforts, Watson, we've discovered the whereabouts of his famous laboratory.
How so?
Elementary, my dear Watson. It must be the address on this crate. The one you're using as a bed.
Well, I must say I don't see anything so funny about it.
When I was very young, I had a nurse who used to tell me that new babies were found among the cabbages. My dear Watson, I never dreamed I'd find you under similar circumstances.
Well, that was an experience, Dr. Watson. No wonder you don't like cabbages.
Yes, I did equip myself rather well under the circumstances, don't you think so, Mr. Harris?
Oh, brilliantly, Dr. Watson, brilliantly. And now, do you think you could be persuaded to give us a hint about next week's story?
Next week, I think I'll tell you how Holmes rescued a young lady of quality, very much against her will, I may say, and how it was managed with the help of a priceless Ming saucer and another lady who was not above throwing vitriol.
The makers of Clippercraft Clothes and 1,036 leading stores from coast to coast have brought you another in the new series of broadcasts featuring the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Our stories are based upon the character Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Sherlock Holmes is played by John Stanley, Dr. Watson by Alfred Shirley, and the dramatizations are by Edith Meiser. Sherlock Holmes is produced and directed by Basil Lochran with special music by Albert Berman. If you don't know your Clippercraft dealer, write Clippercraft, 200 Fifth Avenue, New York City. Be sure to listen next Sunday to Sherlock Holmes in the adventure of the illustrious client. Cy Harris speaking for Clippercraft Clothes. This is the Mutual Broadcasting
System. Welcome back. You know, I read a review of the entire series over on archive.org, and the Sinister crate of Cabbages was listed as one that was not one of the better ones of the show and one of the least favorites. I actually think that this wasn't half bad. It was kind of a different story, definitely a different role for Dr. Watson. If there's any complaint, it's that Holmes relatively didn't do a whole lot in the series. It was really Dr. Watson's quick thinking that kind of saved himself. It would have been nice to see a little bit more mystery, but overall I found it pretty enjoyable. All right, well, we turn now to listener comments and feedback. CT86 leaves a review, says Sherlock Holmes is a really wonderful program. Adam adds great content to all of his programs. Well, thanks so much for your favorable review of the podcast. It's much appreciated. Well, that will actually do it for today. Reminder, Old Time Dragnet podcast. We continue through the entire Dragnet series. Episode added every Saturday, radiodragnet.com. And you can also go to laserand sword.com to subscribe to our Old Time Radio Superman podcast. And I'm definitely liking one new aspect of the Facebook page. It shows me who the newest people are. So, welcome aboard. We've got 1,263 friends heading towards 1300. Thanks so much. Well, this episode, of course, is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all of your great support, particularly financial support. Please enjoy.
For your listening enjoyment, John Lund as Johnny Dollar.
Rogers Turner, Dollar.
Oh, hello, Mr. Stern. What can I do for you?
We insured Jonathan Bellows. Somebody tried to kill him.
Is that the Jonathan Bellows?
The industrialist.
Yeah?
His wife went to the police, but Bellows refuses any protection. Doesn't seem worried. Considers the potential assassin just a crank.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Look into it. We insure Bellows for $500,000. I suggest you talk to his wife first. She's staying at the town apartment, number 1 Park. Mrs. Edith Bellows. She'll expect you.
Right now, I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to pass on a thought which, incidentally, concerns time. According to the Bible, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. We all agree on that, I'm sure. And we'll also agree that the regulation of time also depends on the season. For example, did it ever occur to you who decided where our 4 time zones in America should be exactly? Well, back maybe 75 years ago, there were about 150 different time zones which were set up according to the whim of the local inhabitant. Most of the time was called sun time, and there could be 15 minutes difference between the clocks of 2 towns only 10 miles apart. So, to get rid of the confusion, the Interstate Commerce Commission was established. It divided the United States into 4 standard time zones so that railroads, planes, buses, and the mail could run on schedule. Of course, if a city wants to go on daylight saving time during the summer, that's a decision which is made locally. The standard time remains the same everywhere else. But setting the nation's clocks isn't the only job of the Interstate Commerce Commission, however. It also makes rules and regulations for the various means of transportation which go from one state to another. It sees that railroads, truck lines, barges, and boats operate safely, charge reasonable rates, and give good, dependable service. It also protects trucks and bus drivers from working such long hours that they might fall asleep while they're driving. The Commission also demands that trains, engines, and machines have safety and stop devices. It is, in itself, a safety device to assure every one of us freedom from danger as we travel about our country.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Intercontinental Indemnity and Bonding Corporation, New York City. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Jonathan Bellows matter. Expense account item 1, $29.65. Mileage and incidentals between Hartford and New York City. I arrived at number 1 Park Avenue close to 2 o'clock. Mrs. Edith Bellows, a very attractive redhead somewhere in the early 30s, met me at the door and showed me into her luxurious apartment.
Sit down, Mr. Dollar.
Thank you.
Mr. Stern explained the situation to you?
Only that someone tried to kill your husband.
Yes, day before yesterday. Jonathan was walking in the garden. Someone shot at him. Fortunately, they missed.
Mr. Stern said your husband refused police protection.
He's a very unusual man, Mr. Dollar.
I would say so.
He's not a young man, 63. He's retiring and doesn't particularly care for people, especially people who meddle. Unfortunately, he considers the police meddlers.
Has he hired any kind of protection?
No.
Isn't he worried?
Well, he doesn't show it. But knowing him as I do, I'd say he's mildly concerned.
Someone takes a shot at him and he's only mildly concerned?
It's the nature of the beast, Mr. Dollar.
Well, I'm sure you're aware that Intercontinental Indemnity is more than mildly concerned.
Yes, and so am I. For the whole family, for that matter. I'll certainly give you all the cooperation that I can. I think everyone else in the family will be greatly relieved.
Except your husband.
I'm afraid he won't like it much.
It'll be pretty hard investigating if he has me thrown out of my ear.
Well, you've one thing in your favor. You're not a policeman.
Yeah. But when I'm on a job, Mrs. Bellows, I've been known to meddle and meddle and meddle. We talked some more about Jonathan Bellows. Mrs. Bellows had married him 8 years before, taking her place as number 3 in his collection of wives. Her predecessors had retired to lives of leisure on their alimony. Bellows had one son, Ralph, by his first marriage, now 23 years old. Around 3 o'clock, we went downstairs and climbed into a bright new station wagon. An hour later, we were driving up a long circular driveway that led to the Bellows mansion. We parked and went in.
Jonathan's probably in the library.
Hi.
Oh, hello. Mr. Dollar, this is Ralph Bellows.
Oh, how do you do? How do you do? The insurance?
Yes.
Everyone know about this?
Everyone except...
Your husband?
Yes.
He's in the library with Professor Wilt. Gonna blow a fuse. Gonna be funny, huh?
Well, in a way, yes. You might not get much of a laugh out of it.
Uh-huh.
Ralph, that's not very considerate.
Well, it's the truth, and you know it. The old man's gonna take off like a skyrocket, and I personally think it's very funny. I'm not being vindictive, I'm just being honest. Look, Mr. Dollar, I haven't anything against you. I don't even know you, but my father's a tough, bigoted, unreasonable old man, and I've had to put up with it all my life.
Ralph.
Well, it's the truth. 99% of the time, he gets his own way, but when he doesn't, he creates the most magnificent explosion you've ever seen. Gloatingly, I am proud to say that I have been responsible on several occasions for lighting the fuse.
Do you own a gun?
No, don't be ridiculous. I didn't take that shot at him.
Oh, no, of course not. Ralph's just as concerned as the rest of us. Ralph, I think we'd better...
Yes, certainly.
Can you take it, Mr. Dollar?
That's why I'm here.
Then allow me to escort you to the library.
You're spoiled, Ralph.
Rotten.
Who is it?
The Atomic Energy Commission.
What?
You have visitors.
What did you say about the atomic...
Oh, he's just being silly. Hello, Professor.
No, how are you, Edith?
Beaten in 3 straight games. Who's that with you?
Oh, this is Mr. Dollar, dear.
He's going to find out who took that shot at you.
What?
Now, John, he's an insurance man.
Insurance man?
I'll just sit over here.
I'm with Intercontinental Indemnity. What are you doing here? Who sent for you?
Now, John, be reasonable.
I want to know who in blazes...
John, I don't get it.
You stay out of this. Young man, who told you? I was retained by Mr. Stern. I didn't tell Stern to send anyone over here to meddle in my affairs.
I brought him here.
You did? Why?
Because we're all worried.
Edith, we've discussed this whole thing.
Jonathan, if you don't take it easy...
Shut up. Get out of here, Mr. Dollar. Get out.
Jonathan, please.
Are you going to get out of here? Possibly. But stop looking like you're going to throw me out. Young man, just let me tell you. No, I've got a better idea. Sit down. What? Sit down. Why, you young... Now, sit down.
Ralph, be still.
I've got something to say, and you're going to hear me out.
Now, look here, Mr. Dollar. You've got no right.
Who are you?
Professor Wilt, Johnny Dollar.
Okay, Professor. I'm going to say what I've got to say, whether you think I've got any right to or not. If you want to listen, you're welcome.
Well, thank you.
Young man, if you have something to say it and get out. Then I'll place a call to your company and see that you're immediately discharged. You're due for a big shock. I don't know how interested you are in maintaining your insurance policy, but if this attempt on your life isn't investigated, you're not going to have a policy. Are you finished? No, that's not what I wanted to say. It's this. I've never met you before. I don't know you, and I don't want to. You're a big man in your field, but that doesn't entitle you to be rude to me. Now I'll go. But if you ever try throwing your weight around again, I'll turn you over my knee and make up for the spankings you must have missed a long time ago. I'm sorry, Mrs. Bellows. It's pretty obvious your husband doesn't care how much his family worries about him. Now, if you'll let me call a cab, I'll get out of here. Mr. Dollar. Yeah? Would you stay a moment? No. Confounded young man, now who's being rude? Compared to you, I'm still in the bush leagues. Would you please stay for a moment? I'd like very much to talk to you. Please.
Mr. Dollar.
You'll be miserable.
And you keep your mouth shut, Ralph.
Yes, Father.
Well, Mr. Dollar. Okay. If you excuse us, I'd like to be alone with Mr. Dollar.
Certainly, dear.
We'll finish the game later, Professor.
Of course.
And I want to see you later, Ralph.
Of course.
Sit down, Mr. Dollar. Let's keep it this way. I'm still a little nervous. How much do you know about this shooting?
Only that someone tried it on you.
Mr. Dollar, I know who took that shot at me.
You do?
Here. Read this letter.
I missed you in the garden. I won't miss you again. You'll pay for Ashanti?
Ashanti. It's in Africa. 30 years ago, I was in the mining business. I had a partner, Frank Victor. We didn't get along, and there was an argument one day in the mine. It was quite a scrap, and there was a cave-in. I got out. Frank didn't. There was an investigation, and I was cleared.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I've decided to trust you. I'm not particularly fond of you, but I believe that you can get things done.
I'm working for the insurance company, Mr. Bellows.
Certainly, but as I'm sure you must have gathered, this sort of thing can create some very unfavorable publicity.
Do you think this Frank Victor is alive?
He must be. I've never told anyone of this incident.
Well, there were certainly other people involved when it happened.
Yes, but no one who was out to get me. Why would anyone else but Frank Victor want to kill me?
But he didn't kill you. Maybe it was someone who knew of the accident.
But what would he have to gain?
Blackmail, maybe?
I told you it was an accident.
Sure. But maybe someone figured they could scare you into believing Frank Victor was still alive. Out to kill you. You pay over enough money and...
Not on your life.
Not my life, Mr. Bellows. Yours.
But why wait this long? 30 years.
I have to admit that kind of stops me. You've been a big man in the business world for a long time. Nobody'd ever have any trouble locating you.
What do you intend doing first?
Going back to New York?
Why?
Oh, lots of little things.
Mr. Dollar, as long as I have taken you into my confidence...
Mr. Bellows, someone took a shot at you. It might happen again and you might be dead. Now, if you want me to prevent something like that, you'll just have to trust me.
My wife drove you here?
Yes.
Then you need a car. Take the station wagon.
Well, now,
when do you think you'll be returning?
Probably tomorrow.
Well, you can stay at the town apartment. I want to be in touch with you. You might just as well take advantage of the empty apartment. Number 1, Park Avenue.
Yes, I know.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I left without saying goodbye to the rest of the family and drove the bright new station wagon back to town. I stopped off at the Times, where I wallowed through the morgue file for 3 or 4 hours. I went back 30 years to find what I was looking for. A small article dated Ashanti, Africa, 1923. It didn't say much more than what Jonathan Bellows had already told me. It mentioned the mine cave-in and a pending investigation into the death of Frank Victor, Jonathan Bellows' partner. In an edition dated 3 weeks later, I found the account of the investigation, and it verified Bellows' story about the verdict. Satisfied, I left the newspaper and drove to number 1 Park Avenue, where I received a royal greeting from the doorman, who informed me that Mr. Bellows had phoned to make sure I had everything I needed. In the apartment, I poured myself a drink, took off my shoes, stretched out on the sofa, and put in a call to Roger Stern.
Yes, Dollar?
I want some information on the Bellows family, past and present.
Sure.
Find out where his other 2 wives are and how long they've been there.
Put a man on it right away.
And find out about a Professor Wilt.
Wilt?
Yeah, W-I-L-T, I think. Friend of Bellows. Plays chess with him. Also, I'll need a background on all the servants.
When do you want it?
Pick it up tomorrow morning. If you want to reach me, I meant, wait a minute. Plaza 52099. Number 1, Park Avenue.
Do I know him?
Oh, I wish you were right. Apartment belongs to Bellows. He let me use his station wagon, too.
I don't believe it.
It's my big blue eyes. I just batted him a couple of times, and presto.
Presto?
Sure. Station wagon, Park Avenue apartment, and he better be nice to me. A couple of more bats, and he might buy me my own insurance company. Expense account item 2, $7.50, dinner. After which I returned to the apartment and considered making a few calls that might relieve a lonely evening. I referred to my meager list of availables and was just about to try my luck when the phone rang. Johnny Dollar.
Mr. Dollar?
Yeah?
This is Mr. Bellows. I'd like you to fix something up for me.
I was just trying to do the same for myself.
I'd like you to go to 955 East 108th Street and pick up a...
Yes, Mr. Bellows?
Pick up a package for me. Bring it right out.
Sure.
Is anything wrong? Mr. Bellows.
Nothing's wrong, Mr. Dollar. Just pick up the package and bring it right out to me.
Well, sure. 955 East 108th Street?
Yes, it's a bar. Ask the bartender for the package. Bring it right out.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Mr. Bellows, are you sure there isn't something... Mr. Bellows. Mr. Bellows. Huh.
And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar.
I went downstairs, climbed into the station wagon, and wheeled it east to 108th Street, where I located number 955. It was a bar, the Blue Pheasant. I parked and went in. I introduced myself to the bartender, and he gave me the package Bellows wanted. Then I left and drove upstate to the Bellows mansion.
Hello?
Good evening. Where's your husband?
Well, I think he's still in the study. He was a little while ago.
You going out?
Yes, to see some friends.
Where's Ralph?
Well, he went out just after you left this afternoon. Jonathan gave him a pretty harsh scolding.
Uh-huh.
Been shopping?
Package for your husband. Called me about an hour and a half ago. Wanted me to pick it up.
What is it?
I don't know, but it's heavy.
Well, I'll see you later, Mr. Dollar.
Mrs. Bellows,
Yes?
your husband's a healthy man, isn't he?
Yes, of course. Why?
Well, when I talked to him on the phone, he sounded, well...
What?
Well, I don't know. It was strange.
I just said goodbye to him. He seemed fine. He played chess with the professor until about 7. I saw him right after that. He seemed fine then. There's nothing the matter with my husband, Mr. Dollar.
He's in the library, huh?
Yes.
Have a good time.
Oh, thank you. Goodbye.
Yes? Good evening.
Yeah, I thought you weren't coming back till tomorrow, Dollar.
What?
You said when you left you weren't coming back till tomorrow.
But when I talked to you on the phone...
Talked to me on the phone?
Yeah, when you asked me to pick up this package.
Package?
Yeah, here. From that bar.
Oh, yes, the package.
Mr. Bellows.
Give me the package.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong. Just give me the package. Very important. I've got to open it.
Okay. You're sure you're all right? Mr. Bellows.
Well, hello, Mr. Dollar.
Oh, Ralph. Thought you'd gone out.
Ah, just got in.
I was just calling a company doctor.
Doctor?
I think there's something wrong with your father.
What do you mean?
He called me about an hour and a half ago. Told me to pick up a package. I just brought it in to him, and he acted like he never even phoned me.
Well, maybe he didn't. Maybe someone else.
But when he saw the package, he seemed to know all about it. It was odd. It was as though I suddenly wasn't even in the room. He took the package. It felt like the whole building was coming down around my ears. Ralph and I were thrown back against the wall. And by the time we got up, the library was a smoking black hole. Jonathan Bellows had been blown to kingdom come. It was a bomb, all right. A big one. Planted in the package I'd given him. I called the police, and Ralph located Mrs. Bellows. Then I jumped back into the station wagon and doubled the speed limit getting back to town. The police would be busy enough until I got back. I wanted to get hold of that bartender who had given me the package. By the time I got to the Blue Pheasant, it was pretty well filled with customers, but the bartender I was looking for wasn't in sight.
Yeah, what'll it be?
Where's the bartender who was working here earlier?
He gets off at 8.
Where does he live?
Why?
I'm collecting addresses. Now, where does he live?
You collect addresses. I collect wise guys. Beat it.
Look, friend, that bartender is mixed up in a killing. What? Murder. He's a bad boy. Now, you want to give me his address, or do I make a call and flood this place with cops? Murder? You know, when someone dies the hard way and society frowns. Now, come on. What's his name? Where does he live?
Earl Phillips. 588 East 157th Street.
Thanks. You've been just wonderful.
Well, look, I didn't know it was anything like murder. Honest, if I'd have known, I wouldn't have given you any...
Please. I'm getting all choked up. I drove across town to 157th Street and found 588 East, a big apartment house. Earl Phillips was registered in 405. I gave him a few minutes while I knocked my knuckles loose, then went and dug up the landlady to have her open the door. Oh, she was a dream. About 4 years older than Grant's tomb. With a gin disposition that would make a lost weekend seem like a Miami vacation. The type that should never have been dug up.
Now, look, honey, I got cleaning to do.
Look, sweetheart.
Sweetheart.
An expression of fondness.
Look, Buster, don't give me no words longer than one syllable.
Cop.
You cops got badges.
Here.
Don't look like a badge to me.
These are my credentials.
John.
Johnny.
I should have brought my glasses.
Johnny Dollar, insurance investigator.
Insurance?
Now, let me explain, madam. I work with the police. I don't sell policies. I'm an investigator. I investigate things.
Yeah. Well, suppose you tell me what you're investigating.
Murder.
Murder? Mr. Phillips?
With the door open, we'll both know so much.
Oh, okay.
Turn on the lights.
Oh, my Lancy.
Yeah, mine too.
Is he?
He sure is. Still warm.
I'm not interested. I need a drink.
Did you see him come in?
No.
You see anybody else come in?
I've been in my apartment all afternoon. I'm going right back there.
Come here.
Do I have to?
What's in there?
Where?
Another room.
A bedroom? What are we whispering for?
In the other rooms.
Why?
Answer me.
Bathroom.
Fire escape.
Huh?
Where is it?
Oh, end of the hall. Please, Mac, what are we whispering for?
There's some blood bleeding in that bedroom. Take it easy.
Go down to the police and call stairs.
No. Call the 15th precinct. It's across.
I got it. Goodbye.
15th precinct.
15th precinct. Yes.
Ernie Phillips, the bartender who given me the package with the bomb in it, had been stabbed to death. There were several drops of blood leading to the bedroom door. There was a good chance the killer had been surprised and couldn't get out. I went to the door and tried it as quietly as I could. It gave, and I kicked it open. He was standing right by the door, and he had a knife. Drop it.
No.
You should have listened to me, Professor. Bad? Yes. Landlady's after the police. You want to tell me about it?
Sure. Help me. Sit up.
All right.
Thank you. I suppose you wonder how Bellows called for that package with the bomb.
It was his voice.
It was Bellows. I've known him for a number of years. I was treating him for his nerves.
You an MD?
No. Years ago, I worked in a carny at the carnival. Card tricks, magic, hypnosis. I finally managed to save enough and set myself up as a psychotherapist. It was arranged I meet Bellows at a party. I told him I could help him. Actually, I did help him. Simple hypnosis. Turned out to be a good setup. Paid me well while I had him on. I learned a lot about his business and his personal life, too.
He told you about the Ashanti affair?
Yes. We decided to make it look like blackmail.
We?
That's Edith, Mrs. Bellows. She would have gotten half of the estate and the other half to Ralph. Mr. Dollar, I think I'm dying.
The police should be here any minute.
Well, it was Edith's idea. I met her some time ago. She arranged the meeting with Jonathan.
He was hypnotized when he called me?
Yes. I left the bomb with Ernie. He's a bartender I've known for a long time. He didn't know anything about it, but he would have identified me as the one who gave him the package.
And Bellows was hypnotized when I walked into the library with the package?
No, post-hypnotic suggestion. Told him when he was given the package, he was to take it immediately and open it.
You can hypnotize a man, tell him to do something hours later when he's awake, and he'll do it?
Well, he did it, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did. Well, here they come.
Oh, are they? I don't know.
Sirens. Can't you hear them?
What's that?
I said sirens. That's how I knew the police were... Professor. Well, who wouldn't have liked the sound anyway? Was arrested for her share of the crime, and as you know, the case comes up next week. And that's the way it shapes up. They needed someone to be a witness to the letter and hear the old man's story firsthand, and I wound up the Patsy. Expense account item 3, $141.80. Hotel and incidentals while I stayed in town tying up the ends for the law. Item 4, $29.65. Mileage and incidentals between New York and Hartford. Expense account total, $208.60. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
You know, many great men have attained the highest office in our land, the presidency of the United States. Can you guess the name of this man? The son of a Baptist minister, he entered Union College at Schenectady, New York at the age of 15. He was the fourth vice president to become president through the death of the chief executive. One of his first acts as president was the signing of the Civil Service Act. The territory of Alaska was organized during his administration, and standard time was adopted throughout the country. If you don't know his name by now, here are 2 more clues. While he was president, the American Federation of Labor was organized, and the Brooklyn Bridge was completed. Who was he? Chester Allen Arthur.
Welcome back. Well, I have to say that the professor had a lot of nerve, having the insurance investigator as the one who delivered the package. Really, if he'd had somebody else do it, it could have given him enough time to commit the murder and get away with it. Because the way he did it, though, he left Johnny Dollar right there to beat Johnny on the spot. With the ability to solve the crime. But this is one I think of the better episodes that we've heard recently. So I truly enjoyed this one. Well, we do turn to listener comments and feedback. We have a lot of comments from Facebook. We have this from Patrick, who says, I just watched The 7-Year Itch, and Evelyn Key's character mentions a private detective by the name of Johnny Dollar. I thought I should share. Hope you're well. Well, thanks so much, Patrick, for sharing, and that's definitely a fun fact. Justin Charles says, keep them coming and keep doing what you're doing. Eric Brightwell actually went ahead and he shared a link to a blog called amoebablog.com, amoeba.com, and Eric wrote up a post celebrating the 58th birthday of the first radio reality show, which was Night Watch, which followed real policemen about as they did their job. Of course, it should be pointed out that, in some of the broader sense of reality, there have been candid microphone for a few years, but Night Watch is kind of interesting. It's definitely reminiscent of Cops. If you've seen Cops, you'll like Night Watch. And that one it's available at the Internet Archive, and and we played it as an apps extra over on the Dragnet podcast. And finally, we have a comment from Justin Charles, who says, keep them coming and keep doing what you're doing. Will do, Justin. And thanks so much to everybody who's following the show on Facebook. Really appreciate it. It's just taken off there in terms of folks commenting, liking, and sharing. It's phenomenal from where we started a few years ago. All right, well, that will do it for today. We'll be back on Monday with Barrie Craig, and then join us next Friday for another exciting adventure with that man with the action-packed expense account, yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.